believe it. Me and the man upstairs got to get me.
And when you get a second, come back and talk about it. Believe in the Bible. You're an Israelite king, you gotta make time for the Most High. Living in the last days. World War III on the way, famine on the way. All this comfortability, hey, it's about to be cut to a halt. You're an Israelite, you gotta repent to faith. Fishermen for Zion back on another Sabbath, opening up another Sabbath. Through the Spirit and power, Yahweh Shimon Mashak Yahweh Shah. All glory and honor to Yahweh. Why Yahweh Shah? Yahweh who the world calls is God. Yahweh Shah who the world calls is Christ. The Messiah, the consecrated one, the Holy One of Israel, King of Kings, Lord of Lords, the Alpha and Omega, that's against America, that's against Fayetteville, North Carolina, that's against all so-called white people, that's going to come and send missiles strictly from Ukraine, as of Ukraine basically get missiles right now, as we speak, strictly from Russia, China. The Lord is literally going to blow everything up that's walking in wickedness, man. Everything. Prophesied by Ezekiel, prophesied Jeremiah, prophesied by Isaiah, and all the prophets that you read about in the Bible, man. You know, with no other introduction, you know, giving all good and honor to Yahweh by Shimon Mashak Yahweh Shah, fishermen from Zion, coming once again, not in our own will, not for vain glory, but to prophesy the downfall of America, you know, the destruction that is at hand. Before you, the arrows are lined up, Satan 1, Satan 2, missiles can take out a whole city in less than 20 minutes. You know, Hosea and Dua back on the scene once again. All glory and honor to the Most High. You know, doing so in the name of his son Yahweh Shah. Starting out with Ezekiel chapter 2, verse 3. And he said unto me, Son of man. Ezekiel chapter 2, verse 3. Hey, it don't matter, man. We out here for the nation, man. Regardless of what the position is. Hey, y'all come and listen to the Bible right quick. 2 minutes. 2 quick minutes for one Bible verse. Y'all believe in the Most High?
Yes, sir.
What's your nationality?
I'm Puerto Rican and black.
What about you? What about you?
Absolutely.
All right. So y'all ever read the Bible?
Not like sat down and read.
Okay, you would never find it in the Bible, regardless of how long you search and find. The Most High God never called anybody black, Puerto Rican, Mexican, Cuban, Haitian. That's a certain name that he has for y'all. Deuteronomy, one you can hold that key. So we in the last days, and that's the only reason why we out here. To wake up the people, which is y'all, which, you know, God's chosen children, you know, which was buried in the dirt by the Illuminati, the elites, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, and now they're risen in the last days, and you're looking at them right now. Bring it out, for sure.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 1 and verse 1. Right? These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel.
Moses speaking to y'all, to us, y'all brothers and sisters in these last days. Israelites. Can y'all say that? Israelites, not black, not Negro. That's what the so-called white man called you. But he called y'all special. Now, when you hear Israel, it's literally saying special, peculiar, holy, set apart. You are to the Most High God himself. Read it one more time.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 1 and verse 1. Right? These be the words which Moses spake unto all Israel.
Now, he's speaking to a holy people. Now right here, this was in the wilderness. And this book still stands, so it's really talking to y'all. So we gonna you know, get some of the first and show y'all why you literally don't know, you know, plain as day, you know, have a clue why you never heard it. Because, you know, this was stripped from y'all, this was hid from y'all. There was a reason why the Most High God didn't allow y'all to understand, because y'all fell short. When I say y'all forefathers, and y'all yourself. So Deuteronomy chapter 20. 28 and verse 1.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, and verse number 1.
Right?
And it reads, and it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently.
Shall come to pass, meaning this will happen. This is a prophecy. The Bible deals with prophecy. That's how you know the Bible stands, and it's not faith, and it's not a fantasy, it's not a religion, it's your heritage. It's something the Most High God literally did himself. He used flesh, he used anything he wanted to use to get the word out, to allow the word to still stand. You know, a lot of people say, hey, this is a white man book, white man witness, but the white man judgment is in here. For overdoing a punishment to the children of Israel, hanging our brothers and sisters on the trees, you know, having lynching parties, giving y'all all paganism and evil and wickedness, heinous acts, hunting you down in the streets. Now this is telling you that if you do this, you will be blessed.
If thou shalt hearken diligently unto
Hearken means to listen. Salaki. Hearken means to listen. That's what the root word for hearken means. A translation from Greek and Hebrew. Read.
unto the voice of the Lord thy God,
Right?
to observe to do all his commandments.
To do what?
To observe to do all his commandments,
Right?
which I command thee this day.
So he commanded our forefathers to literally keep and do the commandments. And if you do that, he said you'll be blessed. So we're going to go to 15 and see the other side of that. Because, you know, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, they want to do what they want to do. They only want to come to God when they get jammed up. You know, when they get caught by the feds, or, you know, when they stump their toe, when they get a headache, get sick, you can't do nothing based on their mind, what they think it is. Verse 15, off the shop.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15.
Right?
But it shall come to pass, if thou
And it shall come to pass, meaning the prophecy, it will happen.
if thou wilt not hearken
Not listen, that's what hearken means.
unto the voice of the Lord thy God,
Right?
to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall
All these
come,
what?
all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Now, this ain't just talking to one person. It means a whole nation, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. If y'all can look at this sign right here, this is really strictly out of the Bible. You can see this and link this up with the book of Revelation, the last book of the Bible. Now it says, as a nation, if y'all don't keep the laws, statutes, and commandments, curses will come upon you and overtake you. Now we got curses on us nowadays. So let's see, you know, something we can visualize with this specific next verse.
Deuteronomy 28 and verse 16.
Right?
Cursed shalt thou be in the city.
Now, if you go get a plane ticket, Delta Airlines or Spirit or American Airlines, and go to a whole other city, it don't matter where you go, you still gonna see your people in the same conditions as you. You know, now, you know, LeBron might got a little money. You know, Gunner might got, you know, a little money. He might, if they get the bond, he might get out. You know, Young Thug too. But we talking as a nation. It don't matter if it's 1 or 2 or 12,000. As a nation, and if you go to another city, you still gonna see your people under curses. And the Most High God did that. Now this is talking about the Israelites. You know, now this ain't done away with. Most people think this is in the Bible. As soon as you close the book, it's not. It doesn't have anything to do with what the earth is dealing with nowadays. So we're gonna go to another verse, and we're gonna show you and prove to you what is still going on to this day. Verse 46.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign,
Right?
and for a wonder,
Right?
and upon thy seed forever.
Upon thy seed forever. Now y'all are some king and some prince seed that is literally walking on the earth right now. It said, thou shalt be upon thy seed forever. It doesn't matter if you're 80 years old, or if you're 110, or if you're 3 years old. You're somebody's seed, so you have curses upon you. And as a nation, you still have all your brothers and sisters that are dealing with curses. So they gonna get another curse and prove to you, because then you gotta prove what you're saying with this Bible. We're not Christian pastors. You know, being literally risen from the dust to wake our brothers and sisters up in these last days. Verse 51.
This is Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 51.
Right?
And it reads, and he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle,
Right?
and the fruit of thy land,
Right?
until thou be destroyed.
And this is coming. Now we don't normally talk about this, and we don't normally bring this out because it might be a little too high for you. But you literally have days to come when you would have no food, no water, literally would be a purge. Literally, you will see I am legend in front of your eyes. That is what the Most High God is going to put on this earth. Because our forefathers and our brothers and sisters are rebellious and they don't want to get back with the Most High God. And you literally have people eating their children, brothers and sisters. Because you're not on that food. That's what the government is doing now. They want to kill you. Because we are finding out we are the chosen children, the Israelites in these last days. And he has a plan and an agenda, which is the new world order, to destroy it. And basically get all his sins out before the Lord and get up with him. Because we got a judgment coming for him. Hey, he ain't forgot about nothing. So let's go to verse 52.
It's in Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 52.
Right?
And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates,
Right?
until thy high and fenced walls come down.
And literally, you won't be able to go to another city. You won't be able to run. You won't be able to hide because you won't have to endure. Nobody is saved. You will literally have to endure this because your Messiah, your Savior, your Redeemer, who was sacrificed by His Father to have a way for y'all to come back to Him, was literally murdered, crucified. So He went through it. Hey, just because He went through it, that doesn't mean we got a free way or a free pass. We got to go through it too as Israelites. So let's go to verse 54.
Verse 54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eyes shall be evil toward his brother.
And that's the curse we deal with broad daylight. We look our brothers up and down. I'm gonna put my shoes on, man. Yeah, I'm gonna serve you pack and I'm gonna put a bullet in it. That's what we do, man. And this is a curse. We hate our brothers and sisters. Hey, it's talking to the Israelites, man. So-called black. They managed to date them back. They've been 13. Bloods, Crips, G's, Vice Lords. Bloods versus the Crips. Hey, evil eyes toward the brother. That's a curse. We literally don't, we can't even, go to a family cookout with somebody to fight. Thinking they hard. I got this Glock. What he gonna do? He ain't gonna do nothing. Hey, everybody not your op. They got the new thing out there. Op. That's my op. Hey, that's a curse that we're dealing with. And what? It's a more curses on there. Check this out.
And toward the wife of his bosom.
And his own wife, who gave birth to his, they brought his newborn in the world. Now he kind of flipping his wife over, his baby mama, and he hated it. This is a curse. Because we fell short as a nation and we fell away from the Most High. And what?
And toward the remnant of his children, which he shall lead.
And now he left his kids out there cold. They don't even know who their dad is. Now we thinking that's just something that just happened overnight. But hey, that's a curse the Most High God said will happen to us. Now I got this last curse I want to show y'all that you will not be able to put aside. You see it and it happened. And they taught you that in schools all over the world. Verse 68. Hey, come hear the word.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68.
Fight!
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
Now, the Lord raised up Moses, a mighty prophet, to flee, to set up to help the children of Israel flee out of Egypt. Now, it said we're going to go back into Egypt again. Now, when you read your Bible, you got to read it with your spiritual eyes and spiritual mind. Now, how is it that they walked out of Egypt on foot and now they got to go back into Egypt? It's really telling you a condition, because Egypt was also a condition. So, in other words, you would go to Exodus 22 and it would tell you that it was a condition. So it said we would go back into Egypt again. So let's get some understanding of why and what it's saying and how we gonna get there. Read it one more time, Bible shop.
This is Deuteronomy 28:68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
The Lord shall bring thee, and thee he's talking about are the Israelites, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. This is their heritage. This is their history. Into Egypt again with what?
With ships.
With what?
With ships.
With what?
With ships.
With ships. Who went into slavery on slave ships? so-called African Americans. It didn't say African Americans. Who was it speaking to?
The Israelites?
Israelites. You see that? If you look at in the middle of this road right here, that's a slave house, a slave market, where they literally sold your forefathers and your foremothers. That's standing up like a trophy. Nobody ever told you that. Nobody ever taught you this Bible like this. But it's coming out in the last days. Why? Because the Lord is coming back for the Israelites. You see that? He's waking them up. And he's giving them a chance to come back to him after they were rebellious, after they was bowing down to golden calves, you know, and other gods. He's giving them a chance to come back to him by listening to this Bible, understanding this Bible, and having knowledge on what he was saying 4,000 years ago, before it even happened, as Israelites, not as African Americans, not as thugs, not as G vice lords, you know, but as Israelites, holy people, God's chosen people. Finish that off yourself.
With ships, right? By the way whereof I spake unto thee.
The same way Moses said it, that's the same way it happened. Account for account. You know, coming from a whole another part of the earth over here to do a punishment, to serve a punishment. You know, over 400 plus years. Hey, this didn't happen just, you know, this wasn't, you know, just something that, you know, was written in 1600. This was literally in the time of Moses.
Thou shalt see it no more again.
You're not going to see your homeland again. You wasn't born in America. You was originally from Jerusalem, Zion, Israel. That's your homeland. America was not your homeland. English was never your native tongue. The Messiah didn't speak English. Read.
And there ye shall be sold unto your enemies.
And when you get off that slave ship, you're going to be sold to your enemies. Sold from the Hamites, which is the true Africans, the one that wear the bones, you know, in their nose and a lip disc in their mouth and drink blood and do all type of wicked, abominable things. You were sold from the Hamites, which that is an actual word in an actual nation that you read about in the Bible. Sold to the Edomites, which are your enemies, as it just said. Unto who?
Unto your enemies. Right? For bondman,
slave man,
and bondwoman.
Y'all got a second. Hey, this is talking to y'all. Slave man and slave woman. It's talking to the Israelites. Y'all went into slavery on a slave ship. Your father, his father. You know, y'all went into slavery on a slave ship. Bondman
and bondwoman
and slave woman. And what?
And no man shall buy you.
And nobody's going to be set up to free you, which means redeem. That's what the word buy means, redeem. All these people set up by governors, Malcolm X, Marcus Garvey, you know, and they lied. Gave them a paycheck, and at the last second, they knew that they were set up. Oh, this really wasn't what I thought it was going to be. These are the Israelites. These are God's chosen people. And now we think Islam is something that we need to come to. Hey, the Bible doesn't deal with heritage. The Bible doesn't deal with religion. It deals with heritage. Your God-given nationality. So-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Bond man and bond woman.
And no man shall buy you.
And nobody is going to be able to redeem you, but who was given for a sacrifice, which is the Messiah. Yahweh Shah Mashiach, Christ. And what? That's it. See? You know, we got to come back to the Lord as Israelites. He never called nobody black, Hispanic, and Native American. He called them Israelites. What did the Lord call you? What's the history that you just learned? What's your name? Israelites. So-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Now, he requires something of y'all. Deuteronomy 10 and 12. Don't leave just fast, because there's a lot of stuff that's about to happen, and you need to know how to escape it. Gas hit $10 a gallon. How you gonna get by? You literally just gonna have to go to work and sleep at work, because you're not gonna be able to go back home pretty soon. California gas is $10 a gallon right now. And check this out, famine is coming. You ain't even gonna be able to get a loaf of bread. How you gonna get through? You just gonna kill your way through, rob your way through, steal your way through. You do that, and the Lord literally said you can't do that. That's going against his commandments. And we got to keep the commandments if we want to get salvation. So let's see what the Lord God requires.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 10 and verse 12.
Right?
And now Israel.
Right? And who?
And now Israel.
Y'all are Israel, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Read.
What doeth the Lord thy God require of thee?
Right?
But to fear the Lord thy God.
No AK. Don't fear no AK. Don't fear no missile. Don't fear $100 million. You risking your life for money. That's temporary. It's a slave master on that deal, man. You literally risking your life for slave notes. You gotta put your trust and might and everything in the Lord. That's your power. Y'all are princes of the power. Yasharala. Israel. Hey, don't risk your life for a chain, for a Louis Vuitton belt, for some Gucci, clothes. The Lord didn't send y'all over here for that. He sent y'all over here to serve a punishment and to come back to Him. He required what?
Require thee, but to fear the Lord thy God, right? To walk in all His ways, right? To love Him, right? And to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, to keep the commandments.
To what?
To keep the commandments.
To keep the commandments. You see that? You literally got to keep commandments if you want to escape World War III. Escape and get put to death. And even if you keep the commandments and you get put to death, you will be in the kingdom of heaven, New Jerusalem. So death is not something to be scared about. Apostle Paul wasn't scared of that. King David wasn't scared to get put to death because he knew the Lord was going to raise him back from the dust. You see that? Regeneration is in the Bible. You die right now, you come back when the Lord comes back. You see that? So we're going to get 3 commandments right quick. If y'all want to listen, if you really want to know how to escape all this. Because the Illuminati not going to tell you this. They want you to die. They put I am legend out there. It's literally going to be straight I am legend, the purge out here. You can't fight the white man, the so-called military, the Illuminati with AKs and ARs and scopes, hollow tips. Man, they got missiles. The Lord set them up to punish us. You can't fight them, man. You need the Lord. That's your power. Y'all Israelites, man. Y'all don't come back. Y'all gotta keep the law, statutes, commandments. Hey, we got a YouTube and Instagram y'all need to tune into, man. We on YouTube, Fishermen for Zion. We on Instagram, Fishermen for Zion. With an E, Fishermen for Zion. Tune in, get your Bible, get your pen and your highlighters, man. We living in the last days, you need to get in His Word.
Appreciate it.
His Word ain't gonna be out here forever. You hear that? How you gonna save your household, Keith? If you keep the commandment, the Lord is not with you. Nah, it's not a religion. You want to go again?
Christian.
Revelation chapter 14, starting at verse 12. And it reads, here is the patience of the saints.
Now, the Lord said, here's the patience of the saints. Who are the saints in the Bible?
Saints are the body of Christ. That's what I believe.
Is that what the Bible says?
Yes, it does. The body of Christ.
So, you mean to tell me that in the Bible, it says that the saints are the body of Christ? Give me the book of
The
Psalms.
saints, like,
Give me Psalm chapter 147.
The Psalm chapter 147,
I'm sorry, I love you.
starting at verse 40. Starting at verse 17. Psalms 147, verse 17. He casted forth his ice like morsels.
Wait a minute before y'all even start.
Hold on, sister.
Verse 19. He showed his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgment unto Israel.
Do you know who Israel is?
I know what Israel is, the country.
Sister, are you, first of all, are you drunk right now?
Not drunk. See, God said.
Hold on. Just answer the question. Are you drunk?
I'm a little tipsy, but I'm not like there.
All right, well, guess what? What we're going to give you, you're not going to be able to receive.
No, because y'all need to tell me what y'all come from.
Well, sister, you kind of out of there, sister.
No, I'm not.
Listen, look at this sign. All right, do you see yourself in this sign? Brother, are you just?
Oh, I'm none of this.
All right, well, hold on, sister. This is about to deal with the brother. Would you call yourself a so-called black man?
I have African.
What would you call yourself?
I was trying to put it on her asshole like a tube chapstick.
Oh, the 12 tribes of Israel. I don't believe in that.
Well, listen, I want to ask you. Listen, when you go to a job, you fill out the job application.
I'm
What do you call your
Methodist for
nationality?
that.
Hold on. What do you call your nationality? African American. Now, listen. Do you-
Not me though, because I'm actually African. I have Haitian in my family. This is my tribe.
All right, sister, hold on. Now, where do you find that in the Bible? African American or Haitian or black? Where's that in the Bible? If you're a
It's not
Christian,
in the Bible.
okay. So what did God call you and your race of people in the Bible? That's the question.
You know what?
Do you know? Just say you don't know.
He's Hebrew.
Well, I'm talking about you, sister. Do you know what God called your race of people in the Bible? Yes or no?
I fuck with that.
So he called you.
created
Hold on,
all.
listen.
No, let me say it.
Hold
You
on.
said like
Give me
he
Jeremiah
created
14.
all races, not just
Hold
one race.
on.
Jeremiah chapter 14, starting at verse 2.
Start at verse 1.
Starting at verse 1. The word of the Lord that came to Jeremiah.
Do you believe in the prophet Jeremiah?
What Bible y'all?
It's the Bible, sister.
No, is it the
King
whole?
James, it's the whole
Oh, okay.
Bible.
But
Brother, you
y'all
listen.
might be interpreting.
All right, read on.
The word of the Lord that came to Jeremiah concerning the dark Judah morning and the gates thereof laden.
Judah is one of the sons of God's chosen.
Exactly, I know.
So you know who Judah is?
Yes, Judah is one of the chosen.
Okay, now what does Judah mean? All right, read on.
Judah's morning and the gates thereof laden. They are black.
They are who?
They are black.
Oh, I get it.
Listen, the tribe of Judah.
Let me see where they are black at. I ain't see
Yeah,
that.
you didn't see because you didn't read it, so you've been drinking all the time.
Don't be telling me I've been drinking all the time. First of all, when did I last drink? I haven't drunk in a month. This is my first time
Are you
being
acting?
out.
Are you acting like the daughter of the Lord right now? Sister, are you acting like
But
the
you're
daughter of the
trying to
Lord?
judge me, and God said don't ever be judged.
Where's that in the Bible?
Unless you know.
Where's that in the Bible?
Because you cannot judge.
Give me Judges
That's
20.
why God said
Give me Judges chapter 20.
you
Sister,
supposed
it's
to
a whole
bring
book
the
in the Bible called
unsaved
Judges.
people. Listen, if we're
Read
not
that.
saved,
Judges
you're
chapter
supposed
2,
to
verse
bring
18.
us
Look at Judges chapter 2, starting at verse 18. And when the Lord raised them up judges,
No, the Lord didn't raise up judges.
when the Lord raised them up judges,
Sister, did the Lord raise up judges?
He did right.
You said he did?
But you supposed to
You
save
said
the
what?
unsaved.
Listen, did the Lord raise up judges, sister?
You supposed to
Yes
raise-
or no?
No. Let me
Read that again.
and when the Lord raised them up judges,
Did God raise up judges, sister?
No.
All right, so you don't believe in the Bible. You're not a Christian.
Let me explain
You're not a
myself.
Christian, sister.
First of all, you're not.
You're drunk.
Because no, I'm not drunk.
You are. You're not.
supposed to indulge
You're not a
in
Methodist.
alcohol.
You don't even know what Methodist means. You're not a Baptist. You're not none of that.
What y'all doing outside?
You're acting like a Negro woman,
Let me
sister.
finish.
Look at this,
Are
man.
y'all
Look what our
having
people
sex?
have come
Y'all
to.
having sex without seeing?
Look what our people have come to.
Look,
Just foolish, man. Ain't
we're
wrong.
not even married and having sex. Let's talk about that.
See that? Sister, you act sister. Come on, sister. We're not even going to get Ecclesiastes chapter 7. We're not even going to do that. All right, we're not even going to do it. We're just going to, matter of fact, give me Isaiah chapter 3. Go to verse 12.
If you're not
Take
saved,
Isaiah chapter 3 and verse 12.
look at Isaiah chapter
Sister,
3.
sister, you need to sober up, sister. Right? And brother, you know, brother, good luck, brother. Brother, good luck without.
why do you think
Right, read
God
that.
said?
Isaiah chapter 3, verse 12. As for my people, children are their oppressors,
You know
and women rule over them.
what the Lord say?
And women rule over them.
Right, and the sister is ruling over the brother, man. Right? She's ruling over him. She's drinking all out of the spirit, don't know what's going on. Right? She was never gonna get. Right? She said, well, do you believe in the book of Revelation? Right? Yeah, I know who Judah is. Okay, well, what does Judah mean? I don't know. Right? You know, he was Hebrew. Right? And this is the embodiment of our people, man. Not knowing what the hell is going on, like the brother was going into. It's about to be a whole famine out here. And our people are still drunk, man. Right? Drunk off literal wine and drunk off spiritual wine.
Right.
Man. Right? Our people have no idea what's about to happen on the face of the earth, man. The angels are coming back to the earth at a rapid rate. Right? All type of prophecy is taking place. All type of judgment is coming here, man. Right? You got Israel waking up all across the world. Right? You got young children being born inside of the truth. Right? You got the heathen raging. Right? So all manner of prophecy is going on. Give me Revelation chapter 7 and verse 5. Right? You got all type of prophecy taking place in Babylon the Great. And nobody wants to read the Bible. Do you guys believe in the Bible? I take that as a no. Right? You guys, those are sickness. Right? They don't believe in the Bible. Right? Read that.
Revelation chapter 7, starting at verse 5. Of the tribe of Judah.
So like, give me Revelation 6 and 5. Right? Revelation chapter 6 and verse 5.
Revelation chapter 6, starting at verse 5. And it reads, and when he opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand.
Right?
And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts.
Now these are spirits, right, from the heavens that literally came down to the earth to be put on mankind. Now these balances represent slavery. Right? When you go inside of what balances are, it goes into change. And this is how the enemy was able to put our people in slavery. How you doing, sister? You believe in the Bible?
I do.
Now, can I ask you a question?
Something.
All right, sister. Well, you got to repent, sister.
Right?
I always do.
All right. Well, as an Israelite, though.
That's right.
Right? Read that one more time.
And when he had opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth beast say,
Read verse 5.
verse 5. And when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand.
Right.
And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. And see thou heard not the oil and the wine.
Right. The oil and the wine is represented as knowledge, wisdom, and understanding.
Right?
Right? The spirit of truth always been on the earth. Although the so-called white man was given all the power over the earth to enslave, to rape, rob, and murder, right? To kill and destroy, like he says in St. John chapter 10, verse 10, right? To have dominion over the earth, to do whatever the hell he wanted to in wickedness. The Most High God preserved the oil and the wine. Right? Right? Which is the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Right? Even throughout our enslavement, we had our people that still had the spirit to know that they were Hebrew Israelites. Right? You got people so-called Harriet Tubman and Nat Turner, right, who were voted against a whole bunch of so-called white people and put them to death because he understood the scriptures. Right? That's the oil and the wine that the Lord preserved. Right? Because he promised that his Holy Spirit will come back and we will remember all things. Right? Right? And those things are at a high rate. Right? Now, do you guys believe in God? Y'all believe in God?
Absolutely.
All right, what color is Jesus Christ?
Don't know. I guess I'll see him when I'm there.
See him when you're there. So do you believe in the Bible? Does the Bible say what he looks like?
He looks Jewish.
He looks Jewish.
He's a Jewish man.
Middle Eastern.
Right, and he looks average.
You guys don't know what's going on. Jesus Christ is a so-called Negro.
That's right.
He's a so-called black man.
Where does it say he's black in the Bible?
All right, give me Revelation chapter 1, verse 14.
Revelation chapter 1, verse 13.
He knows the Bible.
And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man.
Who's the Son of Man?
It's Jesus.
Right, that's right. So it's talking about the Messiah. Read on.
Clothed with a garment down to the foot.
So picture this in your mind as you're reading this. Jesus Christ had a long garment on down to his foot. Right, read on.
And girt about the paps.
Right, girt about his paps. What is your paps? Your paps is your belly button area. Right, so he had a girdle on. Right, read on.
With a golden girdle.
And a golden girdle. Read on. So he had like a WWE wrestling belt. Right, over his garment around his paps. Envision this in your mind. Read on.
His head.
His what?
His head.
So Jesus Christ has a head, right? Read on.
And his hairs.
So the hair on his head and his hairs, meaning the hair was on his face, his eyebrows. Read on.
Were white like.
What color was it?
Were white.
Jesus Christ had white colored hair. Read on.
Were white like wool.
Or what?
White like wool.
It was white like wool. White in color, like meaning compared to a woolly textured style hair. What race of people has wool-like or sheep-like hair?
I guess black. But I don't see very many black ones.
Well, we're not done reading the verse. We're not.
Okay,
Let's not
I'll
assume.
wait.
Let's not, jump the gun and kind of go there. Let's continue on reading. But it said that he had white colored hair and woolly textured hair. Now everybody on the earth doesn't have woolly textured hair,
Right?
right? So that's a strike, right? You know what?
Were white like wool, as white as snow.
Because when you're a wise man and you turn of age, guess what color your hair turns? It turns white.
But he died at 33. He wasn't old.
Well, he was wise and he was stressed, right?
Right.
He had a lot of wisdom,
Right?
right? Ecclesiastes 8:1 to tell you that, right? Read on.
As white as snow, and his eyes were as a flame of fire.
So his eyes were compared to fire. We know what color fire is, right? It's red, right? So he didn't have blue eyes or green eyes or anything of that nature. So far he has woolly hair and he has red eyes.
Right?
So far, right? Well, that doesn't say he's a Negro. Well, let's keep reading on. Right? Read on.
And his feet.
And his feet. Right? So he had sandals on, right? He was out in Israel, what you call the Middle East, but that's a new word. Right? There's no such thing as the Middle East
No, that was
during this time.
Right.
During the Roman captivity. That's a Europeanized, Americanized word.
right.
So he had in his feet. So when you look down at the color of your feet, right? Like say you had sandals on, that would be the same complexion as the rest of your body, correct?
Right.
All right, in his feet.
Like unto fine brass.
So his feet was compared unto brass, B-R-A-S-S. What color is brass in antiquity?
Gold.
You said gold. So
Gold.
Jesus Christ was gold.
It's a golden complexion, yeah.
Okay,
He's tan. There was one.
was 10. So Jesus Christ was 10.
I sure.
All right. Well, let's keep
Okay.
reading on. Let's say he was 10, right? But it said brass though. Read on.
Like unto fine brass. As
As what?
if they burned in a furnace.
If you take that 10 that you just said, or that brass as it's written, which is copper color or penny like, and burn it in a furnace, what color would it be?
You would be black.
It would be so-called black.
Right?
So do you accept that Jesus Christ is a black man in the
That's
Bible?
fine by me. Yeah.
That's fine by you? Hey, it should be. I mean,
And then-
that's
and then
Yeah.
there's a
Well,
lot of-
I
there's a
don't
lot
care
of
what he
Indians
looks like. He's
that
about
are much
love.
darker.
He's about love.
There's a lot of
He is
Indians that are
about
much darker than our African Americans, and so he could have been Indian.
He could have been Indian. Well,
He could have been.
Well, you fail to realize that Indian was named by your forefathers by calling.
I didn't
the
say Native
indigenous-
Not
Americans.
Indian
I didn't say
Americans.
Native Americans.
Well, listen.
India.
I didn't say Native Americans.
So you said Jesus Christ was Indian.
I'm just saying, there are all different colors of people, and there's all different colors of skin. It doesn't say what his ethnicity is.
It
but
doesn't say.
his,
All right,
his
give me the book of Jeremiah
whereabouts
chapter
was from
14 verse. Let's
his
find out.
whereabouts
But
was from
okay, can I ask
Bethlehem.
you a question?
Yeah, after his, because he said it doesn't say what Jesus Christ's ethnicity is. That's what he said.
Well, what
Let-
difference does it make?
Well, he
Yeah,
said
what
it
difference
doesn't
does it
say it
make?
in the Bible, so let's find out if that's in the Bible.
But
that's
before,
what
I have
difference
no
does it
problem
make?
with accepting he's black. I
Hold
don't
on.
care.
That's fine, but he said it doesn't say in the Bible what
Okay.
Jesus Christ's ethnicity is. So we want to
Here,
find
now.
out if he's telling the truth or not.
Yeah, I'm
Right?
not.
Because guess what? So let's say I walk
Well,
inside
it
the
does
house.
come. Well, I guess I could be mistaken because it does say he was born in Bethlehem, so that makes him what? Because if you were born in America,
No.
it does make you an American.
No, it
So
doesn't.
Roselle
No, it
is-
doesn't.
he
Yeah.
was a-
That's not how it works.
It,
That's
it
not how
does. It does.
It doesn't. Well,
I mean,
that's not how it works, and I'm gonna show you why. Right, but first read that.
Okay.
Jeremiah chapter 14, verse 2. Judah mourning.
What the Lord said?
Judah mourning.
What tribe is Jesus Christ from?
Judah.
He's from the tribe of Judah.
Right.
So Judah is a man, right? And the reason that he's from the tribe of Judah is because he was born out of the seed of David.
Right?
David is from the tribe of Judah.
Right.
Now check out what the Bible says about the tribe of Judah. Right? Judah is in mourning. To be in mourning means what?
To be sad and
To
sorrow.
be sad and sorrow, to be in the lowest state, right? You know, Judah mourneth,
And the gates thereof languish.
meaning the race of people that belong to the Jews, the real Jews, they're in the lowest state,
Right?
right? And the gates languish, meaning they don't have any real leaders, right? Read on.
They are black.
They are what?
They are black.
What did the Bible say?
They are black.
What color is the tribe of Judah?
Black.
Yeah,
What
so-
difference does that make?
Well, the difference that it makes is that but when you came up, you said Jewish,
He
right?
is Jewish.
Now we know Jewish to be so-called white people today. The
No.
Amalekites.
No,
That
they're,
rule the
they're
music
Jewish or
industry.
Jewish
Right.
people.
Hold on, listen. There's no such thing as Jewish in the Bible.
That's not true. The Israelites are Jewish.
What does the suffix ISH mean?
ISH?
Yes.
I know what it means, but it means they are Jews.
No, it doesn't. The Jewish literally means, the suffix ISH literally means pertaining to or
Right.
in like manner. You can look this up. Google it.
I'm not a down you.
so listen,
I'm
so-
willing to be educated.
So if I say you're mannish, does that mean that you're a man?
No, it means I have the qualities.
Exactly. So there's a race of people on the earth that are saying they're Jewish, but they're not really the Jews. They're acting like the Jews.
Right?
Because the Bible just said the Jews are what? Black.
Well, it also says they're Israelites.
Yeah, the Jews are Israelites.
Right.
And guess what? Who the Israelites are?
What?
So-called African Americans
Right?
and Native Americans
Right.
and Hispanics. Those are the 12 tribes of the children of Israel that were once lost.
So,
Now,
right.
found in the last days.
well, my question is, so since I'm white, does that mean that I don't
Well,
count?
well, the same way we're not black is the same way you're not white. Because what color are your pants?
White.
Now look at your hand.
I mean, I'm a
Well, you're not
pink.
black because your shirt's black.
Exactly. So listen.
But they say in the Bible that they're black.
Well, listen. Read it again.
They are black unto the ground.
Until what?
Unto the ground.
When you dig inside of the soil, the dirt, right? What color do you see if you dig inside of it? You'll see different shades of
course.
black and brown. It's a similitude, meaning so-called black people appear to be dark, so you can use the word black.
Right.
You can use the word brown, things of that nature.
Right, you
But
wouldn't call me pink.
their ethnicity is Israelites. And yeah, we would call you pink or red, really red, because that's what the Bible says.
Right?
The Bible says so-called people are red in the Bible. Did you know that?
I do know that, yeah.
So who was your forefather in the Bible?
I have no idea.
So we're going to show you. Give me Genesis chapter 25, right? And start at verse 23. We're going to show you. Because guess what? You know Joel Osteen, the pastor, he's not going to tell you these things.
Right?
He's going to tell you that God loves everybody and how anybody can get the kingdom of heaven. But that's not in the Bible. So listen to this.
Genesis chapter 25, verse 23.
Right?
And the Lord said unto her,
Start at verse 21.
Genesis 25, verse 21. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife.
So Isaac, right? Isaac is the forefather of the Israelites, right? So listen, Isaac entreated of the Lord, meaning he prayed to God, you know?
Because she was barren.
His wife wasn't able to bear a child, right? Read.
And the Lord was entreated of him.
So the Lord answered Isaac's prayer, read on.
And Rebekah, his wife, conceived.
Rebecca is his wife, so she's gotten pregnant, right? They did their thing, you know, and he prayed, and guess what? Now she's pregnant. Read on.
And the children struggled together within her.
Read.
And she said, if it be so, why am I thus?
So now she's pregnant, and there's children inside of her womb struggling, meaning she's having complications. She's having a lot of pain. She said, if it be so, why am I thus? Meaning, if this is supposed to be a blessing from God, Isaac, and you prayed to the Father, and he said this is going to be a good thing, why am I having all these troubles? Read on.
And she went to inquire of the Lord.
So she went to go pray and see a prophet. Read on.
And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb.
Did you hear that? Listen to this again. And the Lord said unto her, to what?
2 nations are in thy womb.
So God deals with nations of people on the earth. God created everybody, but he created nations. Now when you study the scriptures, God created 18 races of people. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less.
Right?
It's 18 races of people on the earth. Read on.
2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people.
So in Rebecca's womb, there's 2 nations and 2 manner of people, meaning they're going to have 2 different spirits. One is going to like to do one thing, the other is going to like to do the other thing. You're going to find out that one is going to be righteous and the other was set up to be wicked. Read on.
2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels.
And they have to be separated because you're going to find out that when they're together, all hell breaks loose. Right? Read on.
And the one people shall be stronger than the other people.
And we know who that is. When God said one of those races are going to be stronger than the other race. Let me ask you a question. What race of people has the best athletes on the earth?
Well, I guess I'm getting to your point. What are you saying that because I'm white, I'm inferior? I'm just asking because.
Well, I didn't say that.
No, but I'm asking that.
Well, let's find out what the Bible says.
It doesn't say I'm inferior.
Well, let's find out. It said, and the one people shall be stronger. So if God said that one race of people is going to be stronger than the other people, that means that somebody in the Bible is inferior. That's what the Bible is. Read that again.
And the one people shall be stronger than the other people.
Which means what? God didn't create everybody the same. Contrary to property. You can just go outside and look and see that God didn't create everybody the same. But yet, this society will tell you that everybody's equal.
No, it's not.
And the Constitution doesn't even follow that rule. The Constitution says that God's chosen people, the Israelites, are 3/5 of a man.
Right?
That's still in the Constitution right now in 2022. It hasn't been changed. But God said one race shall be stronger than the other race. Read on.
And the elder shall serve the younger.
Do you know the name of these 2 children?
It's
I feel like you know it.
I do. It's been a while. Is it Ishmael and
not Ishmael.
Isaac and
Ishmael before this. We're going to help you out. We're going to tell you.
please tell
Right? And the one people shall be stronger than the other people. And the what? Read that once. And the elder.
And the elder shall serve the younger.
So the prophecy is that the elder is set up to serve the younger. Right? Meaning he has to be a slave. It may not be happening right now, but it's going to happen in due season. Right? Because one day to the Lord is like 1,000 years.
Right?
Right? You may think that
It doesn't say that anywhere in the Bible that one day is 1,000 years.
it doesn't say that in the Bible.
No, not one day is 1,000 years. It does.
You're sure?
It absolutely does not.
All right, give me the book of 1 Peter. Go to chapter 3.
But
give me
I
2
feel
Peter.
like, can I ask you something before
Yeah, I
we
want you
carry
to
on?
ask. I want you to ask it to me after I read this verse.
Okay, you can prove
Right.
this to me. I don't mind being wrong.
All right, bring something.
2 Peter chapter 3 verse 8.
Right, listen.
But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing.
Yeah, because a lot of people on the earth are ignorant, right? And the prophets in the Bible said, listen, don't be ignorant of this one thing. Read.
That one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years.
So, did God say in the Bible that one day with the Lord is like 1,000 years? Or did he not say it?
It says in Peter.
Yeah, it says it in Peter, right? And Peter's the rock of the church, meaning he wouldn't lie. So, go back to Genesis, right? It's 3 where he left out in the elder.
Genesis 25 and end of 23. And the elder shall serve the younger.
Right?
Verse 24. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled,
When her 9 to 10 months was up, read on.
behold, there were twins in her womb.
Right?
And the first came out red.
What the Lord saying?
And the first came out red, all over like an hairy garment.
So God said the elder is set up to serve the younger, and the first came out what color? Red. And you just said earlier, well, you can call me pink.
Well, actually, I'm more white, but my tips of my fingers are pink. Like the tips of your fingers are pink.
Well, guess what? Your pants are white, right?
I'm not pink. If you see me,
Well, that's what you said. I didn't say it.
no, but I'm more pink than I am white. But
Well-
I wouldn't call me red. Dude, that's inventing colors.
Inventing colors.
Kind of are. One isn't the same as the other.
Okay. All right. Read that one more time.
And the first came out red, all over like an hairy garment.
Well, they even say it down south. They call a particular race of people down south rednecks. They don't call them that for a reason. I mean, not for a reason. They call them that literally for a strategic reason. Because really, If you take away these tall buildings and you take away the fake clouds that the government has in the sky a lot of times, and let's say you're just out there in the sun, guess what? Somebody's gonna be red and somebody's gonna be dark, right? That's just simple, right? In the first,
You is black turned red, and that's fine.
all right, hold on, check this out. In the first came out red all over like a hairy garment.
Back of their neck from working in the sun.
All right, listen to this.
And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment. And they called his name Esau.
And they called his name what?
And they called his name Esau.
So you're finding out your antiquity. You're finding out about your history. You descend from a man named Esau.
Right?
Esau is your forefather, right? You can go to the government and really ask them that and they will tell you. But they're not going to tell you this. They don't want you to know that you're the Edomites that ruled the earth, right? So you come from, and Esau in the Hebrew means he wasted.
Right?
What does it mean? Why did Isaac name him Esau? Because when he came out of the womb, right, he said he wasted, meaning he had no melanin.
Right?
Prior to Genesis 25, everybody on the earth was dark-hued skin. Everybody, right? And they called his name Esau. Read on.
Verse 26, and after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel.
And it didn't give his brother's description because of the point that I just made, that everybody had dark skin. So you come from Esau, right? And that's your history, right? You have to be proud about that. That's in the Bible. That's the prophecy in the Bible. Now, what did God say was going to happen to the descendants of Esau when Jesus Christ returns? All right, give me the book of Revelation chapter 13 and verse 9.
Okay, but can I ask my
You had a question. I did say I was going to answer your question. So what's your question?
Because I've really listened. I've really taken.
Okay, I said I was going to answer. So go ahead.
Okay, but does that mean that I am less than you because I'm bad?
Well, what did the Bible say?
I'm asking you.
Do you believe in the Bible?
I'm saying I'm not inferior. I'm not saying you're superior or inferior, but I don't think that I should be subservient to you no more than you should be subservient to me.
All right, give me Deuteronomy 7 and 6. Let's find out.
You are going to convince me I'm a piece of crap.
Well, it's not my job to convince you anything. It's my job to tell you about the Bible.
Right?
So listen
You're
to...
going to tell me that my Bible tells me I'm a piece of crap.
Well, hold on. Just relax 1 second, right? You're getting all emotional, right? Check this out.
Because I'm getting smacked.
Well, that's the Lord, right? Just listen to this. Read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 6.
What if God came down and told you that you was better than everybody on the earth? Would you claim that, or would you say, no, God, you know?
I wouldn't act like a jerk over it, no.
Well, who's acting like a jerk over it?
I might hold my head a little higher. You know what I mean?
You'd hold your hat a little higher, right? All right, so listen to this. Read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 7 verse 6. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God.
Now he's speaking to the Israelites. He told them that they're a holy people unto him. Read.
The Lord thy God had chosen thee.
Chose everybody.
Had chosen thee.
Yeah. So there wouldn't even be a book of Deuteronomy. There wouldn't even be these books if he didn't choose a specific race of people. He chose the Israelites.
He chose the Jews.
No, not the Jews.
No,
The Israelites.
Jews are his chosen people.
Well, listen. You fail to realize that the Jews are only 3 tribes.
Right?
There's 12 tribes for the nation of Israel.
That's right.
So he chose the Israelites.
The Israelites are the Jews.
All right. Now listen to this. Read on.
The Lord thy God had chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Do you accept that verse where God said the Israelites are
I
above?
can't understand him when he's kind of shouting.
All right, read it
He's
again.
speaking normal.
The Lord thy God. The Lord thy God had chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people.
Did you hear that? Where he said he chose a people to be above all people. Do you accept that verse?
If you accept what God says in the Bible, then you have to, right?
I mean,
but if you're reading the Bible and you said, if God said that, then you have to accept
You're
that
wearing
because that's what
clothing
God
of two
said.
different
So I'm asking.
fabrics.
Absolutely. If God says
So
that
you
he
so
chose-
you're answering the question.
If God said that he chose all those people above all people, and you want to believe what the Bible says, then absolutely you believe God's word.
So yes or no?
Yes.
You accept it.
Yeah.
That's good because that's what it said. It literally said
That's
that.
part of what you have to do with the
Right.
Bible. And the Bible doesn't make you have to like everything that was done or said. You just have to be acceptance of it.
Right. So I asked her, do she accept that God said that so-called black,
Absolutely. And the reason
Hispanic,
he-
and Native
but the
Americans are better than white people? That's in the Bible.
If it says it, then absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it's in there. I mean,
But does it
But
weigh
he also
your-
says don't wear clothes made of two fabrics, and you definitely do.
give me Judges chapter 5,
I
verse
mean,
11.
there's like 900.
Give me
laws
Judges
in the
chapter
Bible.
5, verse 11. No, it's not 900. 613.
But I'm just, yes, okay.
Judges chapter 5, verse 11.
And we don't obey 600.
And it reads, they that are delivered from the noise of archers and the place of drawing water.
This is the place of drawing water, where we were made to be slaves in America.
right.
Right there, literally 100 feet down the road, my forefathers were sold into slavery, where they had their names changed to Robinson and Smith and Johnson and European names.
God said in the Bible, if you are a
Listen.
slave, then you be the best slave that you can be.
Listen.
We are listening.
Listen.
And we all have.
Read that
and
again.
There's a lot of people who.
They that are delivered from the noise of archers and the places of drawing water, there shall they rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord.
So what you guys don't know is you're looking at a revolution. You're looking at the Israelites being raised up in the last days before the second coming of the Lord.
Right?
That's what you're looking at. And I asked you earlier, I said, what is Jesus Christ? What is he coming back to do?
He's coming back for some judgment, and then to take some and to leave some, and to leave some to hell, you know?
All right, give me Revelation 13 and 9. All right, let's find out.
The book of Revelation, chapter 13 and verse 9. If any man have it in the ear, let him hear.
Right, meaning if you're smart enough to grasp this, you'll understand it. Read on.
He that leadeth into captivity.
He that what?
He that leadeth into captivity.
So I got a question. Is it a historical fact that your ancestors, so-called white people, put the Israelites in slavery in America?
Sure, yeah.
All right. So God,
Yeah. They've done it to a lot of ways.
well, I'm talking about Babylon, America, right? He that what?
Leadeth into captivity.
He that puts the Israelites in slavery, captivity. Read.
Shall go into captivity.
Have you seen so-called white people in slavery from 70 AD until now? Yes or
I've
no?
never seen black people in slavery in my life. And so, no, I haven't seen white people. I've never seen anybody in slavery.
Have you ever driven by the projects?
There's white people there too. I've lived in the project.
You lived in the project.
I have
Absolutely,
lived
we
in the
have.
project.
You lived in the project.
I don't now, but I have.
What's the name of the project that you lived
Well,
in?
It was
over
in
the
Covington.
Rhine, downtown Cincinnati.
Downtown Cincinnati. Were there Bloods and Crips, GDs and Vice Lords?
Yes, there were. They weren't the same gangs, but yes, there were.
Well, guess what? Guess what? Your government failed you. Yeah, you guys should have got a loan or something, because this is your kingdom. This is the place where you're set up to reign. This is your heaven.
Wake them up.
So the thing
But
is,
I'm white. Nobody's handed me.
Well,
nothing.
you're not white. That's
I'm
not in the
red.
Bible.
I'm red, and nobody's handed me nothing.
Hey, well, that's sad. You're supposed to take the things that are in your kingdom.
Right?
This is your place of reign and rulership.
It's where you're supposed to work and get what you got.
Well, listen. Well, did America work and get what they got, or did they steal it?
As every nation
You
starts.
see that? But you stole it from God's chosen people, the Israelites.
Right?
Well, your foremother and your forefathers did. So hold on, check this out. Read that one more time.
Revelation 13 and 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
Right?
He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
Right?
Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
So when Jesus Christ comes back, guess what? He's putting all so-called white people in slavery.
That's right.
That's prophecy. That has to happen. So are you ready for slavery? That's the question.
No, I'm not.
You're not, well, guess what? You're not going to make it past World War III then.
No, I won't.
Yeah, you're not going to make
yeah, we
it.
ain't gonna know.
No, I don't want to either.
Yeah, there's going to be, yeah. Well, thou sayest. Well, guess
I
what?
mean, I ain't being crabby. I mean,
Yeah.
Oh, well, you said it.
I don't want to.
Well, thou sayest. Because guess what? After World War III, there's going to be a new rulership, a new
Right.
reign on the earth.
What?
And you're going to see so-called black, Hispanic, and Native Americans ruling over so-called whites.
That's right.
We're going to tell you to jump. You're going to say, how high, king? How high, master? Right? We're going to say, work in the field. You're going to say, well, I got to work in the field all day. All day gonna be working in the field, working.
They're gonna kill me because I ain't worth the shit.
You see that? Well, you already said you're not gonna make it past World War III. Yeah, that's the spirit. Because World War III is coming.
That's right.
Right? This place is gonna be utterly annihilated off the face of the earth by intercontinental ballistic missiles prophesied in the Bible. And after that, Jesus Christ, who's a so-called black man, and all the angels, which the world calls UFOs, are coming to save Negroes from Cincinnati to projects, Chicago, Fayetteville, all over across the world, and save them and put all so-called white people in slavery.
Right.
Do you feel bad or have any remorse for what the Europeans did to the Israelites?
About that, right?
Well, I had no control over it, so no, I don't feel bad about what my forefathers
See
did
that?
because I didn't do it.
You see that? Why don't you feel bad about what your forefather did?
Because I had no control over that. I wouldn't even be here.
Well,
How could I?
we absolutely, as a people, we all absolutely as a people, we all understand.
And that cigarette is bad for you.
But
In
we
the
all-
kingdom of
we
heaven,
all-
you're not going to be allowed to smoke that.
Right.
We're going to have to take a lash and whip you like 99 times for smoking that in the kingdom.
Well, yeah, probably.
Yeah, your back is going to be very, very wept up.
Well,
Because that's bad. That's cancer. You're giving us secondhand smoke. What are you doing giving the sons of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob secondhand smoke?
I think we got enough distance between
Well,
us.
well,
I'm
well,
not gonna
well.
hurt you.
Well, that's
And
bad.
then you waited till I put it all the way out before you fussed at me about it. If you would have told me you had a problem with it beforehand, I would have been respectful.
Well, the Lord had it come out when it came out.
Right.
But check this out. I asked you.
Everybody has their weaknesses.
Hold on. Give me Job chapter 27 and verse 11. I asked you a question. I said, do you feel any remorse for what your forefathers did to the sons of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob? Now, let
I
me.
have no control over it.
Well,
You have no control
I
over it.
I feel bad for what anybody does bad to anybody.
If I went, if
So you
did-
don't. So you don't want to own up. You don't want to own up to your mess.
I
That's what
didn't
you're
make
telling
a
me.
mess. I didn't make a mess.
You didn't make a mess.
And our family didn't make a mess. I mean,
All right, give me Lamentation. Hold that. Give me
And-
Lamentations
and
chapter
am
5,
I
verse
not
7.
nice to you?
Give me Lamentation. Well, I don't know. I may turn my back. You may have a knife and stab me in my back when I'm not looking.
Right?
Well, that's what white people did to the Native Americans.
Bring it up. I may walk down.
Didn't they do that to the Native Americans?
I mean, that's
Didn't they
almost
give
like
them
saying,
smallpox?
I might walk down the street and you might rob me.
See
But
that?
I didn't
Is that
do
racist?
that. No.
Oh, whoa,
Wait a
whoa,
minute.
whoa,
Wait a
whoa,
minute.
whoa,
I'm saying
whoa,
I
whoa,
might
whoa.
stab you in the
Hold
back.
on. Listen to this verse.
It doesn't work.
Read that.
both
Read
ways.
that.
Lamentation chapter 5, verse 7. Our fathers have sinned.
Hold on, I got a verse for you. Check out what God said. He said, now he's talking about the Israelites.
Right.
He said, read that one more time.
Our fathers have sinned.
Our fathers have sinned. They broke the commandments. They did wicked things, right? Breaking the covenant of the Most High God. Read on.
And are not.
When it says they are not, what does that mean? It means they're not here. They died. They passed away. Right? Read on.
And we have borne their iniquity.
And we have what?
Borne their iniquity.
Meaning, when your father commits a sin and he passes away, whatever sin he committed is passed down to you. Just like if you have a property, the heir's property, and your father passed away, guess who that property goes to? His children.
Right?
So what your forefathers did in America is heirs property for the sin and the heinous acts that they committed.
If he kicked me, you would feel bad for his sin. If he just ran up and kicked me, you would feel bad because he kicked me, or would you be like, I had nothing to do with it?
Well, if he kicked you, that would be judgment from God. That's just plain. That's
But if I
judgment
did-
from
If I
God.
don't kick him, then what's that?
Well, you just,
Now, wait a minute.
that's just
Now,
you being
see,
wicked.
you twicked
Why are
me.
you guys,
Why can you be mean to me and nobody can
give me
be-
Job 27 and
I
verse
mean, I was
16,
waiting
verse
for you to
11.
say it would be racist.
Job chapter 27 and verse 11.
Hold on, listen, what's your name?
Thank you.
What's your name?
I'm Bill.
And you guys from Cincinnati?
Yes.
All right, check this out.
Job 27 and verse 11. I will teach you by the hand of God. That which is with the Almighty will I not conceal.
All right, jump to verse 13.
Verse 13. This is the portion of a wicked man.
This is the portion of a wicked man. This is talking about Esau.
So he can do anything he
Hold it.
wants mean to me.
What's your name?
And I'm Susan. What's your name?
I'm Keenan. My name is Keenan.
Okay,
Now,
nice to meet you.
all right, Susan, and what's my name?
King.
That's right. So read that one more time.
Job chapter 27 verse 13.
Right.
This is the portion of a wicked man
This is the portion of a wicked man. Read on.
with God and the heritage of oppressors, which they shall receive of the Almighty.
So the heritage, a heritage is what? Things that are passed down.
Right.
And the heritage of oppressors, such as you may not have committed those enslavement acts like hanging so-called black people on trees. You may not. You didn't. Yeah, you didn't do it.
Especially since we're from Germany.
Yeah, you didn't sick the dogs on them, did you?
No, sir.
Yeah, you didn't spray the water hose
We
on
were
them.
oppressed people from Germany.
You didn't do that, did you?
Ireland.
In Ireland.
You from Ireland? So you were indentured
Our
servants?
people came over here from Ireland and Germany that were oppressed.
As
Came
indentured
into
servants,
this
right?
country.
Right, and that's the same thing.
No, it's literally not the same
It's
thing.
really close.
It's literally way far apart.
You can't buy your way out.
Well, you guys got paid for what you did over here,
Right.
right? The people that built up America, they literally didn't get paid, and they got killed.
So did the Asians. Look at the Asians built the railroads and many of them died.
And guess what? The
They weren't
Asians
on
are,
your list.
yeah, because they're heathen. They're heathen. They're not chosen. So listen, read.
So I'm going to hell no matter
This
what.
is-
Well, you're living in your heaven right now, but your government has made it hell for you.
I pray.
Hold on.
I truly pray.
Hold
that
on.
there's something better
Can I
than
finish this verse? Read that.
Can, but
This is the portion of a wicked man
Right.
with God, and the heritage of oppressors, which they shall receive of the Almighty.
Right?
If his children be multiplied.
So, if your children are multiplied throughout all the oppression and enslavement that you have done. Now, what you guys don't know about is regeneration. Meaning, this is not your first time on the earth.
Right?
You may have been living during a Roman captivity. You may have been living during the time
I
of the
may have
Greeks.
been a slave in Roman.
No,
I may
you
have
was
ran
probably-
an underground railroad.
You was probably rich in the time of Rome.
Yeah,
I
you
could
can't
have
say
been
that.
right.
Right, read
You
on.
can't say that.
If his children be multiplied.
And if your children be multiplied,
could
what
have
is it
been
for?
rich, because
It
there
is
was a
for the
lot of
sword.
rich Africans
It is
that
for
were-
what?
there was
It
a
is
lot
for
of
the
rich
sword.
people. You could have been a
You say your
very
name is
rich-
Joe?
You could have been a king.
Billy.
You could have been a king in
Just
another time.
listen,
king.
listen. All Israelites are
But you don't
kings.
know.
All Israelites are kings. And you may have been King Herod, who killed the Lord.
That's right.
Maybe.
See that?
And
See
you
that?
could have, but you could have been too. But you
See
could
that?
have been too,
See
sir.
that? See that?
But you don't want to admit that.
You
But why
guys,
am I the evil one? And oh, you could have done this good. I don't understand.
you guys are classical Edomites.
Well, we
That's
thank
so,
you.
That's so
Yeah,
mean.
classic.
But at least
What
we
do you
recognize-
mean it's not mean? That's what God called you in the Bible, an Edomite.
I
We
really
do,
hate
we
to
do
say
appreciate
it.
you trying.
Can you accept your name? Can you say Edomite?
Why would I?
Because God said it.
Right.
Why would you accept white? What do you mean God didn't call you Edomite?
Edomite.
And because your mother named you king, you think that you are so superior to us?
What are you? Why are you making up stuff?
I'm not.
Yeah, you are. You're making up
You
stuff.
already told me that I was going to be a slave and that you are above me.
Well, guess what? You may not make it to the kingdom because you said that you're not going to make it past World War III. That's what you said.
Right.
Well,
But
thou
there's-
says.
But people will come from
Well, guess what you should do? You should live the rest of your days in America and just freak off. Just do what you want because this place is going down.
I go to work
I try
every
to
day
be
and
a
I
good
work
person.
hard on my hands and knees.
You work
every
hard.
day.
Well, you may be a good slave in the kingdom. If
Right.
you work hard, I might.
I'm already a good slave now.
Well, that's good. All praise to the Most High. All praise to the Most High. All praise to the Most High. Give me Jeremiah chapter 30 and verse 16. Check this out. 30 and verse
But
15.
thank you.
Look at Jeremiah chapter 30.
Well, I can't really shake your hand because you just had that cigarette. I don't want it to rub off.
It's okay. Thank you, though, guys.
Yeah, but we'll do air. Hey, air elbow bump.
Thank you.
Air elbow bump. All right. What you say your name? Susan and Billy. Susan and Bill from Cincinnati, future slaves. All praise to the Most High. Bring it up.
Jeremiah chapter 30 verse 16. Therefore all they that devoured thee.
Right, all the so-called white people that devoured us, man. Right, where they literally lie to themselves in their minds and say, well, we had nothing to do with that. They know not what they're talking about, man.
Right.
They literally could have been the people that said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof.
Right.
Right? They could have been the forerunners of that, man. Right? Where they said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. Right? And destroy and ransack Jerusalem, man.
Right.
You had so-called white people that literally ransacked Jerusalem. And you had so-called white people, hey, King Herod literally wanted to kill the Lord when he was born, man. Give me that in Matthew chapter 2 and verse 11. You had the so-called white man named Herod or Herod, who literally wanted to murder Yahushua when he was born. Right? He read the prophecies. They heard about the prophecies. The prophets was out there prophesying about it. Right? You know, because the prophet's always out there. They're like, hey, look, you know, in this amount of time, you know, a king is going to be born. Yahushua is going to be born. He's coming on the earth. I'm telling you. Then guess what? The angel came down to Mary and Joseph and said, hey, listen, you know, you're going to have this son, da-da-da. They heard about it. They say, hey, man, Yahushua's born. Man, the chariot came down, and I saw it. You know, he's doing miracles. And then guess what? Herod said he's born. Bring him hither so I can slay him. Right? So Herod is a so-called white man. We're about to read about it. Bring it up.
Matthew chapter 2, verse 12.
Start verse 11.
Matthew chapter 2, verse 11. And when they were come into the house, they saw the young child with Mary, his mother, and fell down and worshipped him. And when they had opened their treasures.
So you had at one point in time so-called Negroes that got worship, man. Right now we get worship on the left-hand side. Right? Like if you go to the NBA, you get worshiped.
Right.
Or the NFL. Or if you make it, if you sign to Malaco Records. Right?
Nation.
Yeah, Rock Nation Spirit. What else? Damn,
Def Jam.
Def Jam. Right? If you sign to Def Jam, guess what? You get in worship, man. Right? Or if you get 1 million followers on Instagram, you get worship for the wrong things. But this is a righteous worship right here.
Right.
Right? Read on.
And when they had opened their treasures, they presented unto him gifts, gold and frankincense and myrrh.
Right. So our people were always big in treasury and giving gifts. Right? That's what we were known for.
Right.
You still got some of the Judites that are into that today. Like my grandmother and them. Like they'll go to her friend's house and she'll always give something. Right? Whether it be cookies, just anything. That's how you know that we the Israelites, man. You read about these stories and it makes sense in real life.
Right.
Right? So they gave gifts. Read on.
Verse 12. And being warned of God in a dream that they should not return to Herod.
So they was warned by the Most High God through a dream. Right? They said, listen, we should not return it to King Herod.
Right.
Which is an Edomite, a so-called white man. Right? Who was nasty. Right? You know, he tried to sleep with the women of Israel and try to mix his seed inside. Just like how they do today, man.
Right.
Right? Read on.
They departed into their own country another way. And when they were departed, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream.
Right.
Saying, arise and take the young child and his mother.
So the angel came to Joseph through the spirit and said, and look at him, damn Bill and Susan riding off in the middle of the night on a motorcycle, right? About to smoke a whole pack of cigarettes together, right? And listen to damn Billy Graham, right? Read on.
And take the young child and his mother and flee into Egypt.
And flee where?
And flee into Egypt.
So we had to go into Egypt, man. So Yahushua had to flee into Egypt because they had a dream that Herod was going to kill him.
Right.
Right, read.
And be thou there until I bring thee word.
Right.
For Herod will seek the young child.
For what?
For Herod will seek the young child.
Right.
To destroy him.
You see that? And that fulfills prophecy of what St. John saw.
Right.
Right? St. John saw the prophecy of the so-called white man wanting to kill the Lord, man.
Right.
Give me that in Revelation chapter 12 and start at verse 10. And we're gonna read down. Right? So you had a so-called white man, you can literally look up his genealogy, right? And it'll tell you that Herod was an Edomite, man. And Herod's descendants are on the earth. Where the hell are Herod's descendants, man? These people that you read in the Bible, you have to know that these people have descendants. And their descendants have the same spirit that they have. So if Herod wanted to kill Yahushua, right, which is the chosen one, the omnipotent one, the anointed one, right, who had omnipotency, the righteous, right? Hey, you got you got the so-called white man that's gonna want to kill his children, man. Yahushua's children and his seed. The same thing is gonna happen all over again.
Right.
Right, read that.
Revelation chapter 12, starting at verse 11.
Start at verse 11.
Revelation 12 and 11.
Start at verse 10. Read all the way.
Starting at verse 10. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven.
So like, start at verse 9.
Revelation chapter 12, starting at verse 9. And the great dragon was cast out. That old serpent called the devil.
Right, so the old dragon that's called the serpent and also called the devil is talking about the so-called white man, right? He was casted out, right? For one, he wasn't chosen, right? You know, for two, he was wicked from the beginning, right? Like his forefather Cain. And he was casted out during the time of it just escaped me. During the time of the Dark Ages, man. He was casted out to the outermost parts of the caves, right? The valleys and the hills. Right. So the so-called white man, he's always been an outcast. You can even look at him, he's an outcast. Right. And she got offended because she knew that she was an outcast. She said, well, are you trying to say that I'm inferior? Yeah, you're saying, and we didn't even say nothing about that. So she knew in her spirit from the jump that she was an outcast. Right. Right? I mean, that's evil to have that skin like that, man. It's called leprosy in the Bible. Right? Read on.
Old serpent called the devil, and Satan which deceived the whole world. He was cast out into the earth.
Right? So Satan deceived the whole world by Satan's spirit and his children on the earth lying to people. Right. Right? One of the biggest lies in all of so-called humanity is that Jesus Christ is a so-called white man. Right. You have people on the earth right now living that went to college, got degrees, masters, drive Escalades and Beamers and have millions of dollars that literally thinks the Son of Man is a so-called white man. Right. Right? Because they've been brainwashed. That's what they've been taught. Right? They think that this Bible is a book of humanity, a book of where anybody, it belongs to anybody. Right? They think that. They don't know what's going on. Right? So he deceived the whole earth. Read on.
He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him.
So the so-called white man got demons, man. Right. That's what it just said. The so-called white man, the reason that he rules and reigns the earth is because he has a legion, he has an army with him, man. You're trying to figure out how the hell did the so-called white man rally up all these Negroes, put them on ships. They don't like to be in the hot, you know, they gotta have something to eat. They like grapes and wine and watermelon. They didn't have that on them slave ships, man. I was like, what the hell is this? Right? But they got rallied up and thrown inside of like some sardines and shipped off across the waters. Why? Because the so-called white man had demons with him. Right? Read that one more time.
Old serpent called the devil, and Satan which deceived the whole world, he was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him.
And his angels were cast out with him, man. So the so-called white man has angels, which are demons, man. Right. Right. Hold that. Give me the book of Psalms chapter 78 and verse 49. Right. Because every angel is not a so-called good angel. Right. A lot of people think, well, how could the angels? You know, the angels. You know, because when they think about angels, they're thinking about a little white Gerber baby, right, butt naked, with some white wings. Right. That's not what it's talking about. Right. Bring it out.
Psalm chapter 78, starting at verse 49. He cast upon them the fierceness of his anger, wrath and indignation, and trouble by sending evil angels among them.
So the Lord can send an evil angel among you, right? And that's who the so-called white man has with him. Right. Evil angels, right? He has evil angels among him. The president, right? The people that are ruling over the presidency and the puppets that you see on TV, those are all ran by satanic forces. Right. Right? Spiritual wickedness in high places that you can't see, that we know about through the spirit, because these are the familiar spirits that you read about in the scriptures. Right? Go back to Revelation chapter 12.
Revelation chapter 12, starting back at verse 10.
Where you left off.
Old serpent, verse 9, old serpent called the devil, and Satan which deceived the whole world, he was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Right. Verse 10, and I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our God and strength and the kingdom of our God, Slakia, and the power of his Christ. For the accuser of our brother is cast down.
Right? For the accuser of our brother is cast down. Who's the accuser? The so-called white man, right? He's the one that's doing all the inhumane criminal acts on the earth, right? The so-called white man is the real nigga, man. Right? Right? A lot of these brothers say, well, I'm a real man. No, the so-called white man is a real nigga, right? He does all the killing, right? Hey, brother, you got a second to hear a Bible verse? You have a second to hear a Bible verse? You have a second to hear a Bible verse? You don't got a second to hear a Bible verse? Okay. Check this out. All right, give me Job 30 and 30. What race of people is the Bible about? Right? The whole book is about so-called black people. How you know that? You just took a guess. Did you just guess? All right, read that. Well, guess what? You was correct.
That's right. Job chapter 30, verse 30. My skin is black.
All right, what?
My skin is black.
Did you know that was in the Bible? You did. So you guessed this. I said, well, what race of people is the Bible about? You said black. You just took a guess. And guess what? From Genesis to Revelation, this is a history book of so-called African Americans and how they were born on the earth, how they ruled and reigned on the earth, and how they will fall, and how they'll get back up again in the last days and rule again.
Right.
You're now living during the days of where they have fallen. But during the time of their fall, they're also waking up right now. Because the Lord about to come back. So you are one of the fallen brothers that have to wake up. And what you have to wake up to is your real identity. Right? You're not an African American or a black man. Right? Those are just colors and names given to you during your enslavement. So what did God call your race of people in the Bible as their name, as their nationality? You said what, brother? Israelites. Right. You been watching YouTube or something, brother?
Nah, man. I was
You grew up in the church. Now, did they tell you that Israelites have to repent and keep the commandments, or they're gonna die in World War III?
I don't think
They didn't tell you that one, huh? So guess what? Give me the book of Revelation chapter 11 and verse 14. So World War III is prophesied in the Bible that if the so-called African Americans, Hispanic and Native Americans don't repent and understand that they are Israelites, have to live as Israelites in the faith, they're gonna die in World War III. Now listen to this, read that.
Revelation chapter 11, verse 14. The second woe is past.
Yeah, World War II, right, is gone. Right? Yeah. Read on.
And behold, the third woe.
The what?
The third woe.
Woe means destruction. Right? Meaning there 3 is a spiritual number as far as completion.
Right.
There's been 2 major destructions that happened on the earth, but this last one is going to be the last one. But the third woe, the third destruction, read on.
Cometh quickly.
It does what?
Cometh quickly.
Meaning when World War III takes place, you're going to have people that are prepared, and you're going to have people that are unprepared.
Right.
Right? What are you going to be? Are you going to be prepared or unprepared? Right now, you're unprepared. But you got to get prepared, brother.
Right.
All right, brother, we're going to give you a flyer, brother. You got to check out the information. All right? Otherwise, you'll get caught out there in World War III, brother, and you're not going to have a gate. All right, brother. What's your nationality? That's right, brother. All right, brother. All right, brother. All right, brother. Go back to Revelation chapter 12. Brothers be watching YouTube, man. Right? This Christian pastor didn't tell him he's an Israelite.
Right.
What the hell is this?
Revelation chapter 12, verse 10. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our God and the power of his Christ, Hamashiach. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night.
Right?
And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb.
And they overcame him. The him is synonymous for the serpent. That same spirit that was in inside of the serpent in the garden is the same spirit that's what's inside of Esau. Right? That's that same spirit, man. It's the same spirit that's what's inside of the spiritual demon Satan in Ezekiel chapter 36 and also in Isaiah chapter 14.
Right.
right? These are the same spirits that came back, bottled up, and put inside of the so-called white man in the last days, right? And the Lord said we overcame him, right? The elect is gonna overcome the so-called white man.
That's right.
Right, and all of his illuministic spirits that he got in his society. Right, read on.
And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony.
Right, and the blood of the Lamb is talking about the grace period that Yahushua gave. The reason that he shed his blood was to give you a grace period, a second chance. Right, blood goes into. Give me Hebrews chapter 9 verse 15 real quick, Barbara Deshaun. Right, because a lot of people say, "Well, I'm saved by the blood of the Lamb."
Right.
Right, but they don't understand what that's going into. Right, read that.
Hebrews 9 and 15. And for this cause, he is the mediator of the New Testament.
Right, so Yahushua literally came down from the heavens to the earth to be a mediator.
Right.
Right, a mediator it's like an attorney. Right, you have a judge and you have an attorney. Right, the judge is sitting on a throne, and the attorney, he's fighting for the behalf of whomever is on duty, man, or on trial. Right, he's fighting and he's trying to get them out of that situation. Right, right.
Hebrews 9 and 15. And for this cause, he is the mediator of the New Testament, that by means of death, for the redemption of the transgressions that were under the first testament, they which are called might receive the promise of eternal inheritance.
So by the means of death, he had to sacrifice his life for those people that were under the first testament or the first covenant.
Right.
Which is who? The Israelites, man. Right? That's the people that is and the Lord said that this covenant is not made with nobody else, man.
Right.
That's what the Lord said. Hold that. Give me the book of Deuteronomy chapter 29 and verse 13. Right? Because a lot of people, they try to engraft ethnic heathen or Gentiles inside of the new covenant. What they don't understand is Israelites are Gentiles.
Right.
It's easy to become a Gentile, an Israelite. It's easy for the chosen people to become a Gentile. All they have to do is stop keeping the commandments.
Right.
Now you're a Gentile. Right? Read that out.
Verse 13.
Verse 9. Verse 13.
Deuteronomy chapter 29, verse 13. That he may establish thee today for a people unto himself, and that he may be unto thee a God.
So he may establish with thee unto himself, and that he may be with thee to a God. Right? Read on.
And that he may be unto thee a God, as he had said unto thee, and as he has sworn unto thy fathers.
So the Most High God swore unto the fathers of the children of Israel, which is who? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Right? And this is Sodom and Gomorrah, man, all over again.
That's right.
Right? We don't know what the hell is going on in Babylon. Right? You know, we have no idea. Right? We have no idea what's going on in Babylon. Right? Read on.
Unto thy fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob.
From Abraham, Isaac, and to Jacob. Read on.
Verse 14, neither with you only do I make this covenant, and with this oath, but with him that's standing here with us this day.
No, anybody else.
But with him that's standing here with us this day.
So he said, neither do I make this covenant with nobody else, but with you that are standing here this day. And this is in the wilderness. It was only the Israelites that was with them, man. Right? That's it. So where the hell did everybody else come from?
Right?
Right? Those are doctrines made by man in a new religion called Christianity. White supremacy, Jesus Christ, man. Right? The Lord is not dealing with white supremacy Christianity. Billy Graham and Joel Osteen and all of that. The Lord's not dealing with that. The Lord is dealing with the truth, man. Right? Read on.
Verse 15. But with him that standeth here with us this day, before Yahweh our God, and also with him
right,
that is not here with us this day.
Right, meaning the scattered Israelites, because we was already scattered. You can read that in Deuteronomy, the 4th chapter. Right? So go back to Revelation. Right? Go on. 12.
Verse 10. Revelation chapter 12, starting at verse 10. And I heard a loud voice.
We was in Hebrews chapter 9, verse 15.
It's the book of Hebrews, chapter 9, going back to verse 15, and it reads, "For this cause he is the mediator of the New Testament, that by means of death for the redemption of the transgressions that were under the first testament, they which are called might receive the promise of eternal inheritance.
Right?
For where a testament is, there must also of necessity be the death of the testator."
Right. So wherever there's a testator, where there is a New Testament, there has to be a death or a sacrifice of the testator. Right? Meaning Yahweh Shah had to give his life to kick off the New Testament. And this is 2,000 years ago, man.
Right?
Right? Meaning it's a process to things, man. You can't just rush the kingdom of heaven. It has to be a perfect process. Right? And plus, you think that 24 hours, your little 24 hours in your day equals up to the Most High God. Right? Just like that so-called white woman, she said that what? She said, it's not in the Bible that 1,000 days is with the Lord. She said, that's not in there. And she was ever so short confident. Right? I'm led to believe if I said bet $100, she would have bet it. She'd have put it on the ground and said, well, show me your $100, Negro man.
She probably said double it.
Yeah, she probably said double or nothing, man. Right? Put down 200. You can't do that, Negro man. You know? So, and she was wrong. She was ever so confident and sure, but she was wrong. That's why the Lord said you ought to be quiet. Right? You know?
Okay.
So like I got a quick piece of the book of Matthew, chapter 13 and verse 33. Another parable spake he unto them, the kingdom of heaven is like unto leaven.
Yeah, so the kingdom of heaven is like unto leaven. Right? I'm led to believe the brother poured that because guess what? It's a process to leaven. Right? You can't just, make a leaven. It's a process to things. Right? Certain particular things that's in it. Right? Things that are not in it. Right? That's just how it is. All right, bring it up.
Hebrews chapter 9, going back to verse 16. For where a testament is, there must also of necessity be the death of the testator.
Right.
Verse 17, for a testament is of force after men are dead.
Right.
Otherwise, it is of no strength at all while the testator liveth.
Right. So Yahushua had to die. He had to shed that blood, man. That's why he came as a lamb. Right? Because he knew that the shedding of his blood would give the whole nation of Israel a second chance at coming back to the Lord in truth and sincerity.
Right.
Right? He knew that, man. Right? Read on.
Verse 18. Whereupon neither the first testament was dedicated without blood. Verse 19. For when Moses has spoken every precept to all the people according to the law,
right,
he took the blood of calves and of goats.
Right, meaning that was never going to purify us, man. Right? Animal's blood was never going to purify us. The Lord had to take his firstborn son so that he can save us from the evil man,
right,
from the serpent, right? We wish we could have been saved in Genesis from that serpent, man. When the serpent came up to Eve and beguiled her, we wish we could have been saved from that.
Right.
But this was a process that had to happen, right? Throughout the process of time, So go back to Revelation.
Revelation chapter 12, starting at verse 10. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our God and the power of his Christ, for the accuser of our brethren is cast down,
right,
which accused them before our God day and night. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb.
Right, so they overcame him by the blood and also grace. Right, Titus chapter 2 and verse 11 tells you that grace appeared to us by the shedding of the blood of the Lamb. That's literally what you have grace for. Right, read on.
And by the word of their testimony, and they love not their lives unto the death. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them.
Right.
Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you.
Salaki. Hey, brother, you got a second here, Bible verse?
I'm good, man. I appreciate it.
So y'all good? All right, let me ask you something. What's your nationality? Puerto Rican. What about you? African American. Is any of those names in the Bible? So how are you good to not know what God called you in the Bible?
Right?
Well, guess what? You're not going to have a gate if you don't know your biblical name.
That's right.
Y'all would be Israelites according to the Bible, and you living in the last days.
Look them up.
Right? I'm good. I'm good. He said, I don't know, but I know I'm good. All right, read on.
Revelation 12 and verse 12. Therefore, rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth.
Right, that's what the Lord said. Destruction is coming to the inhabitants of the earth. The inhabitants of the earth, they're just roaming around. They're just inhabiting the earth, taking up space, committing sin.
Right.
Right? You know, read on.
Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he had but a short time. And when the dragon saw that he was cast unto the earth, he persecuted the woman.
He did what?
He persecuted the woman.
Right, so when the dragon saw that he was cast into the earth, he persecuted the woman. And the woman is represented for the nation of Israel. Right, that's what that's talking about. You can read about that in Jeremiah chapter 3 and verse 6 on down, I think. Right, get that for me real quick. Right, the nation of Israel is compared to a comely and delicate woman.
Right.
Right?
Jeremiah chapter 3, starting at verse.
I thought you said 6.
I'm looking for a comely and delicate woman. Salaki, where the Lord said, I've likened Israel to a comely and delicate woman. You got your phone? Y'all gotta find that precept. But yeah, read verse 14 real quick. It's 14 where the Lord says, I am married unto you.
This one is Job too.
Yeah, read verse 14.
It's the book of Jeremiah chapter 3, starting at verse 14. Turn, O backsliding.
Woman. Go ahead.
Turn, O backsliding children,
Right?
said the Lord, for I am married unto you.
Right, so all throughout the scriptures, you'll hear about this comparison about a marriage with the Most High God and the nation of Israel. And you can only get married between a man and a woman. That's the only righteous marriage.
Jeremiah 6 and 2.
Yeah, 6 and 2, Salaki. Right, so but before you read that one more time.
Jeremiah chapter 3, starting at verse 14. Turn, O backsliding children, said the Lord, for I am married unto you.
Right.
And I will take you, one of a city and two of a family, and I will bring you to Zion.
Right, and I will bring you into Zion. Right, that's that marriage, and that's why we out here on the corners. That's why the Lord said in Matthew 22 and verse 9, go ye therefore to the highways and bid them to the marriage. Right, give me that in Jeremiah 6 and 2.
It's the book of Jeremiah chapter 6, starting at verse 2. I have likened the daughter of Zion to a comely and delicate woman.
Right, so the Lord compared the nation of Israel to a comely and delicate woman. Right, meaning the Lord, you have respect for a delicate woman. Right, when you see a delicate woman, a woman that's dressed modestly in the commandments with a dress on and her fringes, guess what? You're not going to treat her just any kind of way now. You know? Hey, somebody's not even going to say nothing until they say, well, she's out of my... you know, I can't just say, yo, what up, mom, to her. Yo, shorty. You know, they set it up in New York. Brothers is off, man. Hey, yo, mom. You know? hey, yo, yellow pants. Right? They, you know, brothers be off, man.
Right.
You know, hey, yo, sunshine with the eyes. Yo, let me talk to you, mommy. Like, what the hell is this? And some of our sisters, they used to like that, man. So when a brother come up to him and, you know, they come respectably, she's like, why he didn't call me a B-I-T-C-H or something, you know? Because they don't understand. You know, they have no idea what's going on. Right? Read that one more time.
Book of Revelation, it's like it. Book of Jeremiah, chapter 6, verse 2.
Hey, come out here. Hey, park your car. Come out here. Come talk about Jesus. He'll never come out here. Right, he'll never come out here. Hey, most I willing he does. All right, we're going to park his nasty vehicle right there. Right, got 3 crosses up, man. Off. Yeah, that's off. That has, I mean, for what? Right? So the Lord said, I've likened the daughter of Israel to a comely and delicate woman, right? So go back to Revelation.
Revelation chapter 12, verse 12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he had but a short time.
Right, that's the so-called white man. He only has a short time to reign, right? Although it may seem like a long time. You think 400 years or 420 years or however long we've been out here, you think that's a long time. Or you think that you add that up with the Roman captivity and the Greek captivity, that's nothing, man. That's nothing compared to everlasting life, right? He only has a short time at rulership. Why do you think he's getting all of this wickedness out just at once, right? Back in the 60s and the 70s, you know, in the 50s, you wasn't seeing Pride Month and transgenderism and all this freakism going on. But now they're like, yo, we gotta get it all out right now. We cannot wait. Let's put it in the cartoons. Let's put it on the cereal boxes. Let's put it in the songs. Let's freak out Dwayne Wade. Let's do everything right now, right? Because they only have a short time at rulership, right? Read on.
Verse 13, Revelation 12 and 13. And when the dragon saw that he was cast unto the earth, he persecuted the woman, which brought forth the man-child.
Right? He persecuted the woman, which did what?
Which brought forth the man-child.
He persecuted the woman, which brought forth the man-child. Right? Now, the man-child is Yahweh Shah. That's why, go to Matthew chapter 2 and verse 14. Right? That's why it said that King Herod, our forefathers received this dream so that this wouldn't happen. You know? And he wanted to do it regardless, man. He said, I'm either going to get him when he's a child or I'm going to get him at an elect time. We have to kill Yahweh Shah, right? He took pleasure in that, right? Read that.
In Matthew chapter 2 and verse 14, when he arose, he took the young child and his mother by night and departed into Egypt, and was there until the death of Herod.
Right, until the death of Herod,
that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken of the Lord by the prophet, saying, out of Egypt have I called my son. Then Herod, when he saw that he was mocked of the wise men, was exceeding wroth, and sent forth and slew all the children that were in Bethlehem.
So he couldn't slew Yahweh Shah. So guess what he did? He killed all of the children, man. Right? He killed all of the children that was in Bethlehem. Right? You know? He said, dang, Yahweh Shah didn't escape and went to Egypt, so I have to kill all these other children.
Welcome to All-Tech Lansing.
Read verse 13.
Verse 13. And when they were departed, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream, saying, arise and take the young child and his mother,
right,
and flee into Egypt.
And flee into Egypt, you know? So like, how y'all doing, family? Y'all got a second for a Bible verse?
Oh, what verse?
Any verse. You want to listen to it? Or do you not have a second for God?
We do already love the Lord very much.
All right, y'all are Israelites, so y'all got to repent.
That's right.
I will do that immediately, sir.
All right.
Matthew chapter 2 and verse 13. And when they were departed, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream, saying, arise and take the young child and his mother,
right,
and flee into Egypt, and be thou there until I bring thee word. For Herod will seek the young child to destroy him.
You see that? And that's why this said this. Read that one more time.
Revelation chapter 12 verse 13. And when the dragon saw that he was cast unto the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child.
Right, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child. Right? And the woman is the nation of Israel, and the man-child is Yahweh Shai from the tribe of Judah. And the so-called white man was so wicked, he said, well, guess what? We can't kill the elect, so let's kill the rest of them. And that's kind of similar to the 1/3 and the 2/3, man. Right. You got the so-called white man killing all the jink across America, man. Right? He's just killing them all, man. Slaughtering them, going inside of grocery stores, putting them to death. Right? Giving them crack cocaine, putting them to death. Putting demons on them and spirits on them, letting them kill each other. Right? It's hand in hand. Right? Read that. Keep reading on this.
Verse 14, when he arose, he took the young child and his mother by night, right, and departed into Egypt, and was there to the death of Herod, that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken of the Lord by the prophet, saying, out of Egypt have I called my son. Then Herod, when he saw that he was mocked of the wise men, was exceeding wroth, and sent forth and slew all the children that were in Bethlehem.
So he saw that Yahushua was gone. He saw the wise men. He said, damn, I'm going to kill all the rest of the nigger babies. Right, read on.
And in all the coast thereof, from 2 years old and under, according to the time which he had diligently inquired of the wise men.
See that? That's wicked. Right? He killed all the children that was 2 years old and under, man. Trying to kill the Lord. That's what the so-called white man does, man, on a daily basis. Right. Setting up Planned Parenthoods, putting out condoms. What the hell is condoms? Where's that in the Bible? Right? Strap up. Right? And they say that in the world, if you ain't got no glove, you can't make no love. Right? I used to hear that, man. You go to the barbershop and say, no glove, no love. It's like, what the hell is he talking about? What is a glove? Right? And then you find out later on through the spirit, he's talking about a condom. Right? You know? So this world is off.
Pull out game strong.
Yeah, pull see that? See that? Pull out game strong spirit. And you'll get killed, man, pulling out, man. Right? There's a man that got killed. Right? That's right. Onan got put to death for pulling out. Right? If you're in the truth and you're pulling out, guess what? You're going off. If you're in the world and you're pulling out, you're going, because guess what? You may have a, that means you may have the elect. Right. And you're slowing up the kingdom of heaven. That's right. Right? You're prolonging the kingdom. Right? What type of judgment is that when you get delivered up, you go to the wilderness, and Yahushua said, guess what? You prolong the kingdom. Right? By pulling out. You're going to feel terrible, man. You're like, damn, I did that? So a lot of people get put to death by not knowing what the hell is going on. Right. The number one cause for death is not knowing what's going on. Right? That's literally what it is. Right? And we're going to finish up on this. Read on.
Verse 17, then was fulfilled that which was spoken by Jeremy the prophet, saying, in Ramah was there a voice heard, lamentation and weeping, and great mourning. Rachel weeping for her children, and would not be comforted because they are not.
Right? So our children was getting put to death, man. As it said in all of the prophecies, man. Right? Give me that in Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 32. Right? Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 32.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
You see that? So our sons and our daughters was given to King Herod, right? A so-called white man. Right? Read on.
And thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all.
Just like how Rachel was. She was looking and failing with longing for them. Imagine you just had a 2-year-old son and then you named him a mighty name, and then King Herod sent his troops to come and take him and freaked off with him. Right? Throwing him over cliffs and playing hit the nigger baby with him. Doing all type of heinous acts to him. That's what we've been subject to in this captivity in America. Right? Right? Read on.
And thine eyes shall look and fail with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thine hand.
And we had no might in our hands when they was doing that to us in the Roman captivity. Right? And then it happened all over again after the Roman captivity to the American captivity, man. Right? But you got the Negro woman that's on welfare and WIC, right? With 4 baby daddies, right? And she done had 12 abortions, right? Listening to Juvenile, right? Talking about twerk something, you know? So all of these things it's nothing new under the sun, as the Lord said in the scriptures, man. This happened to us repeatedly, right? Where you have the so-called white man after our people looking to kill him. And he's been doing that. Give me the 2 Chronicles chapter 28 and verse 17, if I'm not mistaken. It's either Second Chronicle, I think it's Second Chronicle. Right, 28 and verse 17. Right, where you had the so-called white man, after we got out of slavery, the so-called white man came up and then and tried to put us in slavery again. Right. We literally just got out of slavery, right, from the hand of the Assyrians, and then the so-called white man come right back and put us in slavery. Right, bring it out. Book of Second Chronicles, chapter 28. Start at verse 15. Start at 15 and read down.
Verse 15. And the men which were expressed by name rose up and took the captives, and with the spoil clothed all that were naked among them,
right,
and arrayed them, and shod them, and gave them to eat and to drink, and anointed them, and carried all the feeble upon them, and carried all the feeble of them upon asses,
right,
and brought them to Jericho, the city of palm trees, to their brethren. Then they returned to Samaria. At that time, the king Ahaz sent unto the kings of Assyria to help him.
Right, so King Ahaz sent it to the kings of Syrians to help him. Read on.
For again the Edomites.
The who?
For again the Edomites had come and smitten Judah.
Right, so we just got out of slavery, and then here come the Edomites. Here they come. Them and their armies come and smiting Judah down, man. Right, trying to kill him, trying to put him to death, man. Right? And these things, it just happens time and time again. Give me, it's more on that. All right, read on.
And carried away captives.
And carried away captives. He smit the Judites and then carried away captives. Give me Psalms chapter 124 and verse 6. Right? The book of Psalms chapter 124 and verse 6. Right? Bring it out.
Book of Psalms chapter 124 and verse 6. Blessed be the Lord Yahweh, who has not given us as a prey to their teeth.
Right, so listen, if you in the last days and the Most High covers you from this famine that's about to take place, and from the so-called, because that's going to happen again, where the so-called white man is going to come and smite Judah, right? You're going to be blessed, right? That's a blessing to be able to hide from the hand of the wicked. Right? The Lord said, hide me from the secret counsels of the wicked. Right? That's what King David said. Right, read that one more time.
Give me Wisdom of Solomon chapter.
Blessed be the Lord Yahweh, who has not given us as a prey to their teeth.
Right.
Our soul is escaped as a bird out of the snare of the fowlers. The snare is broken, and we are escaped.
Right, read that verse one more time. Verse 7? Yeah.
Our soul is escaped as a bird out of the snare of the fowlers.
Right, he said our soul is escaped as the bird out of the snare of the fowlers, man. And that links up with Revelation chapter 12. Right, that's it on that? Go ahead.
The snare is broken, and we are escaped.
And we are escaped, man. Right? And that's the day that we're looking for. Right? Where it says in Jeremiah 8 and 21, it says, and we are not saved. Right? There's going to become a day where we escape. Right? From us not being saved. Right? Bring it up.
Wisdom of Solomon chapter 10 verse
12 and 10.
Wisdom of Solomon chapter 12 starting at verse 10.
How y'all doing, family? And you got a second to hear a Bible verse, brother? One Bible verse for God. 1 second for God. Damn, you don't believe in God, brother? You said what? So one Bible verse, brother. See that? Read that.
Wisdom of Solomon chapter 12 starting at verse 10. But executing thy judgments upon them by little and little,
right?
Thou gavest them place of repentance.
Right, so the Lord said he executes his judgments upon people little by little. Meaning what? Like in Exodus, right? During the time of Exodus, the Lord didn't destroy Pharaoh's kingdom in one night, right? And I'm led to believe it wasn't even 7 days, right? It was little by it. There's no account of how long it took, right? From the 10 plagues, right? There's no account how long it took. It could have been, it was an elect amount of time, right? So the Lord does it little by little, and that's the same way he's doing America. America is getting destroyed little by little, right? The prophets are out there destroying America, right? Anytime there's a destruction, there's a raising up, right? Because when something is being destroyed, there's something new being taking place. Right? Give me Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 6. The Lord said, better is the end of a thing, right, than the beginning thereof. Right? Because that beginning is going to be, it's going to take time to build up that beginning. All right, read that real quick.
Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 6. For as the crackling of thorns under a pot.
Verse 8.
Verse 8. Better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof.
Right. Because when you break something down, right, that new foundation is going to take some time to be built up. Right, through the Spirit. Like the kingdom of heaven, it's not going to come in one day. We have to take the kingdom. And then we're going to have to build the kingdom up. Right? It's not going to happen in one day. Right? The nations are not going to be in order as soon as we get our spiritual bodies. It's going to be a process. Brothers literally think that America is going to get destroyed in World War III. We're going to get saved out, go to the wilderness, and then happily ever at the kingdom of heaven is just here. That's not how it's going to happen, man. It's going to be a process. You're going to have. That's why brothers have to get themselves in a workman's mentality right now, right? Everything you do has to be for reason of process in working, right? You have to be a laborer, right? You have to be a brother in the vineyard. You have to always be teaching, always be meditating. That's what the Lord said, meditate upon thy precepts forever, right? Because the kingdom of heaven is going to be a working process, right? Read that one more time.
Wisdom of Solomon chapter 12 verse 10. But executing thy judgments upon them by little and little.
Because that's just how the Most High get down, right? Didn't the Lord say he's slow to anger? The Lord said that, man. Right? So you can't try to speed up the time of the Most High. Right? Read on.
God gave us them place of repentance, not being ignorant that they were a naughty generation.
That they were what?
A naughty generation.
Yeah, this is a naughty generation, right? Do you agree with that, sir? Sorry? Do you agree with that verse?
Naughty generation?
Yeah. Is this a naughty generation? Yeah, like homosexuality, right?
Talking about that?
You said what?
Talking about that? I meant more like perverted, I guess.
Yeah, well, homosexuality is perverted. That's pervert. That's a pervert.
Nah, I wouldn't say that.
You wouldn't say that. What about, would God say that? Probably not. So why would you say something contrary to God? Oh, hold on, you said probably not. So God wouldn't say that homosexuality is perverted? All right, give me Romans chapter 1 and verse 25. Do you know God?
Do I know him?
Yeah. You said no?
No, I
Well, we're going to show you what God said. Read that.
This is the book of Romans chapter 1 and verse 25. Who changed the truth of God into a lie?
So somebody on the earth is responsible for changing the truth of what God established. Like, what did God establish? The elements, the sun, the moon, the stars, the earth.
Right.
Man, right? Everybody has 10 toes, 10 fingers. You have a nose, a mouth, a torso. What else does everybody have? Body parts. A man has a body part. A woman has a body part. Who established those things? God did. But God said, who changed the truth of God into a lie? Right, read.
And worship and serve the creature more than the creator.
Somebody on the earth said, to hell with what God said, to hell with how God created me, I'm going to serve and worship myself. Right, read on.
For this cause, who is blessed forever, amen.
Right.
For this cause, the Most High gave them up unto vile affections. For even their women did change the natural use into that which is against nature.
What is a woman's natural use? You gotta keep your finger where you at. You said what? To give birth. Now, if a woman is a lesbian and a man is a homosexual, are people going to be able to give birth? Would that be for the planet and for God, or would that be against God?
Yes, I guess against God.
Well, it's not about me. It's about all living things.
Right.
All living organisms.
I mean, all living things is not living things.
mind their own business. So if all the men on the planet say, I'm going to stop dealing with women.
All men aren't going to stop saying that because not all men are.
Well, guess what? If one man is a homosexual, then guess what? Another man is going to eventually be a homosexual.
Right.
Then another man is going to eventually be a homosexual. And then it's going to spread like wildfire. Case in point, in the 40s, you didn't see what we see now. You didn't see Pride Month. You didn't see all transgenderism. You didn't see that. But guess what? You see it now. Meaning what? It's spreading. So if the continuation of this spread takes place, guess what?
I wouldn't say that. I'd say more people, because they were prosecuted, they were so afraid of coming out and be themselves. Now that we're in the new age, people are more comfortable. We're seeing more of them coming out. Not because it's spread, but because they're finding comfortable with being themselves.
So you're telling me that there were people that was transgender and gays in the 30s and the 40s, the same number as right now. They just didn't come out. They just didn't come out with it.
Right.
Where's your statistics on that? And your proof? All right, so give me 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 21. All right, give me 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 21.
Book of 1 Thessalonians, chapter 5, starting at verse 21. And it reads.
Because what you said, I want to believe you, but this is what the Lord said. Prove all things. What the Lord say?
Prove all things.
So whatever you say, you have to prove it. You have to have some facts and some data to back up your stance.
Yeah, I'm not saying I was there for all of it.
Well, guess what? Your stance and your statement will be considered flawed.
Right.
Because stats say otherwise. The number of people being gay has risen up in the last 30, 40 years.
Right.
Well, you don't have any data. You say you don't have any data to prove it.
I do have one historical thing, and it doesn't have to be many, but I know a lot of...
Are you gay?
No, I'm not.
Straight?
Yeah.
So why are you fighting for the behalf of wickedness?
Oh, I'm not. I was just walking. You guys came up, started talking. I just don't agree with what you guys said, that's all.
All right, well, I asked you a question in regards to how is that going to be for the population and humanity if everybody just turned and just cared about themselves and nobody fought for righteousness? Then you're gonna have the people go extinct.
I guess you're right about that.
Yeah, so are you for God or against God? Does God want everybody to go extinct, or did God say be fruitful and multiply?
I'll say not that. I'm neutral.
You said what?
I'm neutral.
You're neutral.
God.
What's your nationality?
American.
American?
Yeah.
That's what you put on your job application, that you're American?
Citizen.
U.S. citizen.
Yeah. It's
What?
my nationality.
All right, so where are you from? Like your ancestors?
My ancestors Mexico.
Mexico. Are you Hispanic? Are you a native Hispanic, or are you Spaniard?
Spaniard.
You're Spaniard?
That's Spaniard.
Hispanic or Spaniard?
I'm Hispanic.
Are Hispanic?
Yeah.
Now, check this out. The so-called Hispanics, why is it that they speak Spanish? Who gave them the language Spanish?
Probably derived Latin.
It comes from Spain. Spanish comes from Spain. The Spaniards gave the so-called Hispanics Spanish when the conquistadors came over to Mexico, raped, robbed, and pillaged them, and made them slaves. Are you familiar with that history?
Somewhat,
Yeah. Now, in the Bible, the so-called Hispanic man is not actually a Hispanic man. He's actually one of God's chosen people, an Israelite, right? From the tribe of Issachar. So if you would be a Hispanic man, so-called, and your forefathers goes back as real native Hispanics, then you have to repent and come back to God. You were created to be a righteous man on the earth and not a heathen man. So check this out. Give me Deuteronomy 28:47. Check out what happened to the so-called Hispanics.
Deuteronomy 28 and verse 47. because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart.
So God said the Hispanics at one point in time, they worshiped God in spirit and in truth. They spoke Hebrew. That's the native tongue of the real Hispanics. Right? You can even go over to South America and you'll find ancient landmarks with the 10 Commandments on it in the Hebrew writings. Right? And the reason why is because they're Israelites. And they carried that over here after they escaped from the old world. Right? Read on.
For the abundance of all things, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies.
So because of their disobedience, they're now subject to be servants to their enemies, which is why you was given a language called Spanish.
Right.
Which is why so-called black people was given a language called English. Because their enemies indoctrinate them, right, and gave them philosophies. Read.
Which the Lord shall send against thee.
And God sent the so-called white man against the Hispanics. Because the Hispanics are stronger than so-called white people. You're smarter, you're faster, you're more athletic, right? You understand science better. You understand the elements of the stars. You know how to tell time, right? You understand prophecy. But you stopped worshiping the Most High God and started worshiping yourself.
Right.
And started worshiping the elements in the stars and the moon and started being homosexuals. So God set up the so-called white men over the Hispanics. Read on.
In hunger and in thirst.
So now you have to serve the so-called white men in hunger. Meaning what? You have whatever you desire to eat. Where do you get it from now? Yeah, you don't own those restaurants. There's no such thing as a Mexican-owned restaurant, right? What's a Mexican restaurant name? What's the one you go to? Micasitas isn't owned by the Hispanics, right? Oh, what's the Texas? It's another one. Yeah. Yeah. Those aren't owned by your people. You have to get permission from the so-called white man to have that building, to get a permission slip to sell that food, right? So that you can literally make the so-called white man rich. When you're supposed to be owning all of this, right? This is supposed to be your land. You was over here first, right? Yeah, the Hispanics literally came over to North and South America before the so-called white man. Right? Read on.
And in thirst and in nakedness.
You can't even get free water anymore. Back in the day, you used to go to the river, right? And get free alkaline water and feed your children and quench your thirst. Now, you have to pay the so-called white man for it. That's off. You may think it's normal. Yeah, just go to the grocery store, give me some water and, you know, things of that nature. Yeah, no, that's off. Right? Read on.
And in nakedness.
Yeah, the clothing that you have, right? Your forefathers used to make their own clothes. Right. They used to be the progenitor of passing out and distributing clothes to their own people. But now what they have to do, they have to get on a bus that holds the capacity of 50 people, but 1,000 people is up there so they can go to Walmart to get some things for their household. That's what you've been made and subjugated to in America, right? And in nakedness, read on.
And in want of all things.
Anything you desire to have now, you have to get it from the so-called white man. Driver's license, education, a car, right? Anything you want, you're now subject to get it from the so-called white man when you once were in authority and to rule and reign the earth. Read.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
The so-called white man put yokes of irons upon your neck. That's why you now, what's your last name? Say it again. All right, now that's a Spaniard name, right? And that happened during the slave port. Like I said, when the conquistadors came over here, you literally got sold into slavery. Your women got raped. Your men got buck broken, right? They had you working in the plantation in the field all day, picking sugar cane picking different plants and elements of the nature. Right? Read on.
Until he have destroyed thee.
Now you're comfortable with being a Hispanic man. Right? Now you're destroyed. Now you just want to get out of Mexico. You don't care if you have to stay on the border for 30 days and 30 nights with no food and water. Throw you in a damn cage, and then somehow you just, by the grace of the Most High God, you escape to the Americas. You're in Texas, you flee from Texas, go to Florida, say, damn, let me go to North Carolina, get even further more. That's what happens to you people all the time. Because you are an Israelite from the tribe of Issachar, and you broke God's commandments. And if you want those things to stop happening to you people, you have to come back to God. Right. Not as a Mexican, right? Not as a Hispanic, because what does that even mean? What does a Mexican mean? Yeah, it doesn't mean anything, because you're not from Mexico. Right? Mexico is a prison camp for your people. Right? Just like America is a prison camp for our people. Ain't that right, brother? Hasn't America been a prison camp for us? Don't we get raped, robbed, and murdered in America? Yeah. So you have to know who you actually are according to God. Otherwise, you're not going to make it past World War III. And you will not have a gate. So do you want to make it beyond World War III? How do you survive World War III? Couldn't tell. Do you want to know? Because there's a secret answer to it. It's very secret. And it's hidden in the vault. Go back to God? I mean, that's a vague, yeah, but that's a vague answer though. Anybody can say, I'm gonna go back to God. But how do you go back to God? You cannot just, knock on his door and wait for him to come, or, can I literally knock on his door and say, hey, God, and then he comes and he has his robe on and say, hey, what? No, God is not gonna get down like that. And then ask you, do you want some breakfast? No, that's not how God works. You have to come to the Most High God in a particular manner. I'm going to show you. All right, give me the classic in Matthew chapter 19, verse 16. Well, don't you want to find out how you get to God? It's a verse. You said no?
No. You guys are here next week or something?
Well, it ain't no telling when we're going to be out here. But you just walk past the service of the Lord, and you will be an Israelite.
That's right.
Lord willing. Well, we don't know. Possibly. It's a high possibility that you're an Israelite.
Right.
And if indeed that you are, you have to separate yourself from everything that you've learned in this society and come back to God.
That's right.
I'm going to give you a flyer. And you need to learn about your heritage.
Right.
About the real Hispanics. How they're actually Israelites from the tribe of Issachar. Say Issachar. See that? And look at, if you're not going to use it, give it back. See that? See that? See that? So we're going to continue on with the word of the Lord. We're going to continue on. I'm going to get a few more. What time? What time?
10:58.
All right. Where's we at? All right, give me Isaiah 25 and verse 7.
And it reads, and he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all people, and the veil that is spread over all nations. He will swallow up death and victory, and the Lord Yahweh will wipe away tears from all faces, and the rebuke of his people shall he take away off of all the earth, for Yahweh has spoken it. And he shall say in it, and it shall be said in that day, lo, this is our God.
This is who?
This is our God. We have waited for him, and he will save us. This is Yahweh. We have waited for him. We will be glad and rejoice in his salvation.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 16 and verse 19. And I will give unto thee the keys of the kingdom of heaven.
What the Lord say?
And I will give unto thee the keys of the kingdom of heaven.
One time.
And I will give unto thee the keys of the kingdom of heaven. And whatsoever thou shalt bind on earth shall be bound in heaven. And whatsoever thou shalt loose on earth shall be loosed in heaven.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 24, starting at verse 1. Now upon the first day of the week, very early in the morning,